cases, it could also be where you could use that as like a combo for removing any sort of like weaknesses while still getting the healing that you need. So that's why I kind of put it maybe around situational to like decent. But I would just stick with situational for me.
I like that.
Yeah, I'd probably say situational with it too. I don't really know how much it would be used, but yeah, I'd probably put it there.
I would say like the main purpose will probably be like if you use like regen. Like I tend to use regen a lot when it came to like a lot of the Wallaroo bosses.
Yeah.
I know it's just because I needed some sort of heal because I'm not gonna use Grendel's Amends. I'm gonna use something that's somewhat decent, so we'll use the availing hands, or it could be like a regenerate. And there are some situations where it's like, oh, I need a full health, but I got weakness, or there's a shield that's like a tower shield or something. I could just remove it off easily. Next one, Frost Beetle. I would say this will go in decent tier. I feel like the fact that it could be like any shield, it could literally be like you have a set shield on, and with that set shield, there's always going to eventually be like one of them that you won't use. So you can use this as like some sort of like, shield breaker, but also give you that shield that you need desperately. So it's like kind of like a hybrid of like offense and defense.
So I'm a complete noob in PvP, so I don't know if this is any good in PvP, but for me it seems like it'd be pretty good, because if you use like an Ellie shield with it, let's say it's like an off school to the school you're going up against, you get rid of a shield, get a free 65 shield. I don't know, I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the utility does buff up, doesn't it? I could be wrong on that one. Doesn't the utility get increased a little bit as you level it up, or is it just the damage?
It used to. It used to be a 50 chromatic shield at the first tier, and then we go to 65 at tier 5. But in early February, or maybe it was the Nightmare update, that's when they changed it to be a standard 65 across the board, which I really liked, and I think I agree that it goes in the decent tier. It's like Pluto was saying. I mean, I don't want to get too much into PvP here, but it is very, very good because you can use... It's like Pluto was saying, you can use a double shield. Like, you can use a volcanic shield against a fire boss, and, the fire boss, he'll hit the fire shield off, and then you can Frost Beetle, turn the storm shield into a fire shield, and only lose 5% value on it. So I think that is really, really great. It also takes off weaknesses and shields, which I think is really, really great. That's a massive...
So, to do a little bit of fact-checking, turns out that, yes, the current... apparently this one's changed. It changed to a minus 65% now.
Yeah,
They buffed it. It's chromatic.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
It's been chromatic, but well, I think it's universal, right? It's been universal, not chromatic. But now it's a chromatic now.
It is chromatic.
Ooh. With that being said, I mean,
I don't know, that's pretty good.
I still probably keep it around decent. I say that's like high decent. Like I would say it's really close to amazing, but for now we'll just keep it at high decent.
It's not great with buffs.
Okay.
But I would say high decent.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so next one, Fire Cat. Pretty decent one in my opinion. There's a lot of bosses that tend to like to use tower shields, like Ice, for example. Ice bosses love to use it. I've done this a lot where I tend to combo with like a skeletal dragon, and just being able to get that detonate off is always really useful. The only time I could say that it's like really negative is in situations you try to rely on feint stacking, which can be an issue. But if your main goal is just to go through the tower shield and still do damage, this is where Firecat can shine. The only reason why I may even put a little lower is mainly because of the next spell we're going to be going over sometime in the future, which is Troll. So I would say I'd maybe put it like in the middle here from decent situational. What do you guys think?
Okay, I did want to mention one boss, Omen's 3-Bog in the River of Frozen Tears in Polaris. The strat that Prisma, a friend of mine, he created this strat where you do your thing, the fire scalds, but you have to kill the Sentinel or Omen and them take like no damage. So
interesting.
So you detonate the Fire Cat on the Sentinel, and then the Incendiate is able to do the work on the rest of them. So personally, I think that's it's a situation where you can use it. So it's like for a lot of spells, there's not a situation where you can reasonably use it for Fire Cat, and this is like really, really good in that situation. So
yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I'd probably put it in decent as well. I mean,
Decent?
Yeah, I'd probably put it in decent. Like I told said, I can see a situation where this can be used.
Yeah.
And also like it breaks the shield, detonates an OT. I don't know. That's pretty good utility. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. So I'd put it decent. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then I guess we'll just raise it up then to where it belongs in the decent tier. I also like that it's cheap. The cheap cost is definitely really useful, so it's always going to be something that like everyone can enjoy to an extent. Next one, we got Dark Sprite. We don't need to talk about that.
We really
garbage.
don't.
We really don't.
It's...
All right, next one, Scarab. I think this one belongs in situational. What do you think?
One blade.
I mean,
it does the damage, and then it swaps the blade.
Useful.
So, like, in the case where it's like, hey, if you're going against, like, a fire boss, and he happens to somehow stack blades of the same kind, because that tends to happen, especially if you have a minion on that's not as smart. And let's say he decides to go for an E-free, okay, boom, you got the weakness breaker, and then you get that fire blade for you. You know, there's some situations where you might use it, you just won't use it often.
yeah, I like situational for that.
Phil,
I'd
what
probably
do you
put
think?
it in trash. I don't see how I would use this at all.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I can respect that too. Yeah.
Okay, so what? Okay, you're gonna be like the deciding factor. What do you think, Ice Gold? Like for real, for real? You think it's gonna be a situation, or it's just absolute garbage? No one's gonna use it.
Well, if we're talking PvE, I guess I lean a little more towards Pluto.
Okay.
It, like, could
In
be,
that case, yeah,
yeah.
majority rules. We're gonna put it in trash.
Fair enough.
I think it's decent though. Sorry about that. I was getting called for something. Okay, next one. We got lightning bats. We're gonna start with the rank 2s now.
Oh boy.
Lightning bats. You see, here's the thing, right? As a person who does decathlon every now and then, I tend to use this spell every now and then. I really don't like the fact that its accuracy is so stupendously low, which I understand Storm. But as much as I kind of like the utility, I really don't like the consistency. It lacks a lot of consistency with its accuracy. Even though the effect is okay, the fact that you can only remove like maybe one DOT is kind of an issue for me with like its low accuracy. I probably put this PvE wise. Keep in mind, guys, we're doing PvE based. Trash.
Right. I mean,
Why do they have the accuracy increase on the top path but not the bottom path?
that's what I'm saying. My thing.
I don't get it. You would think it'll be lower because it's like, oh yeah, it's Storm, do damage, go bird, and it's gonna do insane damage now. But no, there's the utility that still gets like the same accuracy.
Hey, Linguine Rat. Why are you saying common Wizhead Pluto L? I have the right takes, the absolute right takes.
So true.
My takes are final, all right.
I have the best takes.
I do.
Lightning bats is trash.
Somebody has to do it.
I did want to mention that one quick thing. Lightning bats.
Okay.
So, let's say that there's an Azteca boss that decides to use a Spinosaur on you for 10 whole pips. So you use lightning bats, and you gain 8 pips of value.
Okay.
For 2 pips. It's like it's such overtime removal is just such an insane thing in the game. And I mean, we'll talk about Kraken later, but in my honest opinion, it is. I would put lightning bats in like A tier just off of that alone, because overtime removal, non-protected overtime removal, it can just completely shred an overtime and put weaknesses on the target. It's like I will always advocate for overtime removal being in like A tier plus. That's
I mean that's a fair take. I just think yeah, sure. The lightning bats will give you like more bang for your buck in terms of removing overtimes, but it's the fact that like the accuracy is so low. I just can't rely on it like decently to where the effect is going to be worthwhile for a comparison. If I could just have like a triage TC, it's mainly the accuracy I have an issue with lightning bats. It's the accuracy issue. That's it. Like, I think the utility is like fine. If anything, I will probably upgrade it to situational.
That's fair
at
enough.
best.
That's fair.
Someone in my chat said they look cool though. Bats remind me of Batman, and Batman reminds me of man. So I don't know. I don't know. I think he might have a good point there.
He's speaking the language of gods.
We're upgrading in that. No, I'm kidding. It's staying situational.
I would say.
Okay, Pluto, what do you think?
Yeah.
Okay,
I would say either situational to trash, probably. Yeah, I'd probably say situational. I can see situational.
I say situational. Like after hearing like the whole thing with Ice Gold, I have to kind of agree. Like, there's definitely still some situation you use it. It's a gamble, but better than nothing is kind of where I go with.
It's like if you're a storm using it, then it's like insanely good.
That is true. That is true. All right, next one we have is Troll. Now this one easily amazing.
Wait, remind me.
What else do I have to say?
But I don't have Troll. I don't have any Troll Spellements. So remind me what Troll does again.
Oh boy!
Like
Can I take
shields
this one?
on yours. Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead. The PvP man gets to
All
speak
right,
today.
I had to rub my hands together for this one. So Troll, it does meat damage, but if you have 2 shields on you, it will gambit them to add 25% extra damage to an overtime detonate per shield. But it's bugged right now. So it does, rather than like a 1.5 times multiplier like it should be doing, it does a 2.25. And I hope there's no devs watching the stream, because I will be abusing this in Azteca on my ice for my budget walkthrough. I've already been doing it. I'm troll detonating snow angels here and there. It's like absolutely nuts for damage, and I would put this in S2.
I hate to burst your bubble, but I think they mentioned the notes that they updated it. I think they just fixed it, actually.
You sure?
Yeah, I think it was on the notes that it was adjusted to where it was supposed to be. That's why it's also like PvP allowed now.
Oh, it is PvP allowed?
Yeah, because they adjusted it to where it actually gives you the 1.5 multiplier max instead of the
it's still really
crazy
good,
2. It's solid. It's solid.
Yeah.
It was literally before Better Incendiate, and they nerfed it.
Yeah, no. If they fix Troll, that means they fix Incendiate too, so rip.
Swanity says they're nerfing Incendiate.
Well, they're not nerfing Incendiate. They're fixing it because Incend did twice what it was supposed to. It was the same problem as Troll.
Oh.
But Troll,
yeah,
I still would advocate for it being an amazing tier, just because it can detonate like for a 1.5 times multiplier. Like that is really, really great. Maybe I'm just ice brained with that, but that's my take on it.
I use it all the time on my death walkthrough. It's like literally one of my favorite spells to combo with.
Yeah.
And I could probably see this used for like my fire, for example, that is DOT oriented. So yeah, it's a solid spell all around.
Yeah, I'd probably put it decent to good, I would say. Decent to good for it. Before the nerf though, I'd probably go like the top tier. Honestly, that sounds
it'd probably be like above the vanilla tier if I can actually go all the way higher, because of how crazy it was. But we got Leprechaun. I'm actually leaning between these two, either decent or amazing. I do like the trap removal, and you get some survivability with the heal. It's not much, but anything counts really. But it's the fact that you have that trap removal, which is really nice. But what do you guys think?
I wish it gave another heal over time.
Oh, instead of like just being one single one, just 2 of them. Like,
yeah, that's why I love Fire Elf. I can see it coming up, and I'm about to put it like really high up. But if
I will too, actually.
Yeah, if Leprechaun just did the same and gave 2 heal overtimes, it would be so good. But it doesn't, so I'm gonna put it in like trash.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Gave it a stack. I'll put it in
okay.
trash.
All right, Pluto, what do you think?
All right, so clears 2 traps for overtime. I'd probably put it situational. I don't really see it being used much in PvE.
I feel
situational, I would say.
Okay, that's fair. I feel like with the overall, it's probably going over here then. All right, Snow Serpent.
Trash.
I don't like it.
Trash.
Yeah.
Is there a tier below trash?
Yeah, the Abyss.
The Abyss. Put it there.
bit trash.
It's not even gonna be on the list anymore.
It's not even gonna be on the list. Just like take it off the Photoshop thing.
All right, Fire Elf.
Followed.
I honestly really like it. I don't. Do we have any gambits that are like PVE viable that use overtimes? To my knowledge.
Hey, thank you to whoever followed. For some reason, it's not showing up.
Huh?
No.
Oh, from your Twitch or so?
On my Twitch, yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's probably like between these two maybe, because it is cheap pip cost too. You gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean 2 pips to take off a shield and apply 2 overtimes. I think it's really good, and
pretty good.
We've used it in raids, but
I think that counts. Yeah, if you use it in raids, that hella counts.
yeah, it's much better in advanced. So I
Remember
like
when
it.
they,
I would put it in like amazing or decent just because of that.
When they originally came out with this spellment for the spell, it was like doing overtime on all enemies, and I just really liked that one. I don't know. I liked it better because it was like a finisher for fire. If like some enemies survived on like low health, you could just finish them off, and then
Yeah,
they
you're
kept
right.
changing it. And now I'm just like, yeah, it's not as good as it used to be. So I'd probably put it situational. I'd say
Situational. I would say we'll probably go to decent then for this one, because like I honestly really like using this. Now there are better ones now, but you also have to keep in mind the pip cost is really low for this one, so it's like it's easily, you can use it a multitude of times in comparison to other spells. And the next spell we're gonna probably be going over in a bit, Sunbird. I actually do like the fact that it kind of kept its whole thing where it's like, hey, do more damage if there's like an overtime. Well, there you go. You have an overtime. All right, Ghoul. And that one's pretty solid. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah,
It's gotta be like probably up here.
I would put it in the vanilla bean tier. I'm gonna give it a stack. That's not even my P.
Vanilla?
Brain. It's like
Vanilla.
like
I know this is more PvE based, but I did a match it in Sauce, and he absolutely decimated me with this spell. So
Oh,
I
no.
think he's gotta get a little bit higher for that.
I mean,
it's crazy because it's just like even in PvE, you basically just kind of get a blade for existing.
yeah, I mean it's like you throw on a tri shield.
You just exist.
Yeah, you throw on a tri shield. You break a shield on the target with this spell. You get 230 blades, and it's nuts for that. I would definitely put it in vanilla bean tier.
Alrighty.
But
Alright, next one. A Scorpion. Oh yeah, Pluto, what do you think?
Oh wait, I'm sorry about Ghoul.
Ghoul.
I pretty much already said I would put it in what's the tier above decent? I'm sorry.
Oh, amazing.
Amazing.
Is it above decent? I would just put it in decent then. I don't know if I'd put it in amazing.
Decent?
Yeah,
okay, I think it's amazing. He thinks it's vanilla.
Yeah,
I think
we can.
we can reserve the vanilla for what's set in the top. You know, no weighing, AOE. Wow, crazy damage.
Yeah,
wow. Scorpion. It's okay. It's fine.
There's spells that do this but better.
Yeah, that's my thing.
So I would call it situational personally.
Situational.
Yeah.
Pluto.
Okay, wait one sec. Let me pull Scorpion up real quick.
Yeah, sure.
It's like Splash Squash does the same thing, but like a lot
It's
more
just so
damage.
much better. Oh my god.
Okay, I don't have Scorpion Spellements either. All right, that's why I couldn't find it.
So long story short, it does the swap thing before it does the damage.
Okay.
But then it loses
Does
a
it
lot of
swap,
damage because it swaps before.
But you do get a shield.
Yep, that is nice.
I'd probably put that maybe situational. Yeah.
All right, I guess we all agree it's situational tier.
Yeah.
All right, next one, Storm Shark, easy. I mean, at least for me, it's easy.
Please Storm Shark.
It's a lot of damage, dude. Like a lot of storm spells now
so
have been based on like doing healing overtimes, and there's so many moments you can actually make a healing overtime to just make it do an insane amount of damage, and it's a big increase too. It's not like no small increase; it's a huge increase in your damage.
It's like the
Yeah,
conditional.
no, this spell is good.
Yeah, the conditional is really great. The problem is setting it up, and because it's like real hard to set it up while the spell is still relevant, like in the early game, I would put it because it's like good, but not like situational. You know, so I would be putting it like in between. I don't know. There's ways you can work with it. Like a new berry surprise, I think could put it into the decent tier.
That will help a lot.
But for
Yeah.
now, you know,
Doesn't like the teacup also give healing over times as well?
it does.
But that's like end game kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, if we're thinking about like, you know, majority of the levels beforehand, like how else are you gonna
Yeah,
get
it's
healing over
like-
times easily?
Yeah, it's like that's part of what I'm basing my stuff off of. It's like the conditional is so good because it makes this 3-pip spell do mass, but getting the setup for that, it's like I was on about with Leprechaun. It's like if you could counter 2 traps and get 2 heal over times, you could use that in conjunction with Storm Shark and like Crocotopia or something. But
True.
yeah, it's just it's not great right now. I would call it like situational. If the setups were way more accessible in the early game, I would definitely say put it up in amazing. But
Okay.
Yeah, I can see how like you wouldn't really use this spell in like late game at all, and I
Yeah.
can see where it's like hard to set up for early game. But I don't know, it does like
That's
a
true.
lot of damage
That's
though.
true.
So
yeah,
I'd probably put it in,
It's
in decent. I'd probably put it in
decent.
decent.
Okay, I think we'll probably have like an average of decent because I think it's amazing. But that's just me.
yeah. I think there's a lot of potential for it.
Yeah, Evil Snowman. All right, easy. No, I'm kidding. It's going amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But still, it probably would have gone vanilla though. Like I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just
it's
how good it is.
it's sort of like the old Snowman, except it's like it still has that that counter where it counters weaknesses and stuff like that. In Dragonspire, I can see myself using this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I use it all the time. I use it in Decathlon. I use it when I do my walkthrough series, and I even use it when I'm not doing my walkthrough series. I know this enough because it's
Yeah.
just that freaking good, and it got
this.
better because they buffed the shield and removed the traps,
Yeah.
which I don't know why the heck the traps were there in the first place.
Use this for balanced decathlon.
Oh yeah.
This was good.
Oh dude, it's,
Yeah,
it's insane.
I'd put it amazing. I'd put
I
this
would
one
as well.
amazing.
It's like even right now it's
For
amazing, but
consistency.
this it's like it's so good.
Let's see. Did I skip a spell? I think I skipped a couple spells. Yeah, I did.
No.
Cyclops. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like this one.
Cyclops used to be good with like deferred overtimes, but with what they're doing with those now, I don't know if I like it. Because it's like a 50 trap, a 50 overtime trap is a 50 overtime trap, and you get 3 of them if you have an overtime on. So it's like it would be good if deferred dots were better. Is where I'm coming from. So I would say situational.
I just don't like the
trash.
playstyle. The playstyle just is so weird to me. It's just like, nah, I'm not feeling that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This spell's situational to me. I don't really see how damage over time traps are very useful, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really see Cyclops being used that much.
I mean, even then, it's like right now we're kind of moving away from, hey, here's like one overtime that just does a ton of damage. No, now we have here like multiple overtimes that do a lot of damage, but they're like kind of spread out. So like they're harder to remove, but like to compensate for that, to not make it like extremely overpowered, well now they do less damage per tick kind of thing. So it's like, I don't know.
It's like,
Isaiah says that this is more of a fire spell. This should have been like a fire spell.
I feel that. It's like OT
Yeah.
traps with what they're doing with overtimes, where there's more overtimes and just splitting the damage across. It's like you can't use the traps themselves for
Yeah,
that
that's
much.
true.
It was better
I
before.
was thinking this would be good for maybe like a dual school type of thing if you were trying to go for that, but it's traumatic.
It
so
is
it's like you
chromatic.
get myth traps for it basically.
Well,
So, yeah,
even
I
if
don't
it's like a
know.
dual school setup, I think the setup takes quite a while to even do.
Yeah.
Like I think the only one that can do it like kind of consistently is like fire, but for some reason they just gave it the myth.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'd put it.
So what are we
situational
thinking?
to trash.
I'm kind of
situational
thinking
trash.
trash. I'm kind of thinking trash in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with Pluto here. I'm on the
Yeah, I'll
fence,
put
but I
it-
wouldn't mind seeing it in trash.
I'll be willing to go down to trash for it.
Yeah.
Trash. All right.
Trash,
Cool.
Yeah.
It was
All right.
better
Nature's
before.
Wrath. Yeah, it was. Nature's Wrath. What are we feeling about this one?
In conjunction with Fire Elf, I would say it's decent, but it's just one of those that's tough to set up and not really too viable in the early game.
That is
you
true.
can't really use this. I mean, if the utility was like, if what you needed to, if you didn't need to get damage over times,
Yeah.
it's like life doesn't really have a low pip damage over time besides really Sucre.
Yeah, was that the patty
And
mobile?
that-
I saw?
What's that,
That's very
Liam?
true.
The patty mobile, bro. I was thinking situational for this though.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I'd
thinking around the
say
same realm because you can still set it up somehow, but it's just
Yeah, you need.
it's a
that
little
fire
tough.
off
I can't
for it.
really put it in trash because I could see some use for it too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'd say situational.
Sunbird. I'd probably go in between decent to amazing, because you only need one overtime to be on to do extra
Personally,
damage.
I'm the decathlon player, so I don't know if it gets used there. But in my experiences, I would put this just in trash. Like I will keep it a stack. It's
That
like
bad, huh?
it's like you would need like an aura and a bubble to really make good use of that.
I mean,
That's my
fair.
take.
That's a fair point.
Storm playable at last. I don't know. I would put this. I would put Sunbird. I would honestly put it in decent. I mean, I don't think that the damage over time is really that hard to get for fire, and you get a decent amount of damage. I'd put it maybe situational to decent.
This is like literally the most early game spell of early game spells. Like
Yeah.
this is like the definition of an early game spell. So yeah, I'll probably just move it down to situational.
Fair enough.
Banshee. This used to be actually a really freaking solid spell. I mean,
Yeah.
it was broken as hell.
Is this the
but
one
it was
that
a
did the
super
weakness?
solid spell. It did the weakness and the infection. It basically did like 4 things.
Yeah.
Because it was like a 2-in-1 special.
It would set up a curse gambit in one turn if the person had 2 blades, which is nuts. So now that
welcome
it's
to the
been
stream, Jandry.
nerfed- Now that it's been nerfed, I don't know.
My opinion?
I
Legit,
mean, if
I'm
you're
not even
looking at
kidding.
it from a, if you're looking at it from a PVE perspective, it's probably going in like trash or situational, I guess.
I
But
would
for
agree
like
with
a PvP perspective, I don't know. This spell's probably pretty good.
Okay, here's my argument. My argument is blade removals are very huge.
yeah.
A lot of enemies love to blade. Being able to do this could be really interesting. Now, we will get into this about Kraken. This is still probably like one of the very slightly effective ways to set up a Kraken Gambit so you can actually use it for Shark. Now, it's one of those cards that, like, maybe you can set up something later down the line, but even if you don't want to, like, you know, go with the Gambit route, you can just simply use this for the sake of just removing blades without having to use, like, other spells that, like, you may not have access to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's,
Isaiah
it's a good
says
blade removal
Banshee is
card.
busted.
Banshee is busted right now, but in Test Realm, it's not as busted.
It's not as good
Yeah.
anymore.
I'd probably just put it in the middle tier, whatever that one is.
Yeah,
think
I
it's
agree
probably,
with
like,
friends
situational.
completely here. I would say situational for the new Banshee.
All right. This one, I'm not gonna lie with y'all. I kind of have a feeling it's going here.
Oh, what, in trash? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, swap the trap, and it's like, okay, that's kind of used. I mean, literally, Leprechaun is just better. Let's keep it a buck. The secondly, right? It's like, oh, hey, the trap is swapped now. Okay, now
So
I
what-
do some extra damage with it.
It does
Nice.
Wait,
chromatic
what spell you guys
damage,
shot? What? Yeah, Locust Swarm. Is that what you guys are talking about?
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Locust Swarm. Okay. Yeah, no, I'd probably put it situation. I don't
I
know.
would say
I don't see
trash.
myself using that at all.
I'd say
Situational
trash.
trash.
Democracy rules, trash.
Yeah, bro.
Kraken. This mainly just because of Storm
Should
Shark.
be really
in my
good,
opinion,
right?
it's probably
Is it
going
still
over
good?
here.
It used to be good, but they swapped the util with Stormzilla.
'Cause, yeah, there used to
Yeah.
be the overtime weakness. Overtime for weakness. You're moving overtime, did a pretty good weakness out of it.
Yeah.
But now it's just like,
At least you can.
Smooth
My thing is like you
solution.
can combine this with Banshee though. Could be pretty fire.
I mean, okay, so do either of y'all know if the overtimes, or the heal overtimes rather, not boosting off of outgoing has been fixed? Because if not, then I would call this trash.
I have no idea.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a problem that Tria Strife has as well. It's like the heal overtimes, they don't boost off of outgoing. So I personally would put this new Kraken in trash just off of that. It's like it could be situational if it healed for a little more, but you know.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Pluto?
Situational for me. I don't see,
Okay, so
I
we
don't
got-
see myself using it much, but yeah.
2 situational, so I guess we'll just keep it there for
That's
now.
fair enough. It
Democracy
can be useful
rules.
for the whole Storm Shark thing that you were on about, but I feel like it's too many pips for that.
Liam
It kind
says-
of is, though.
Hey Liam, if you wanted to join the VC, we're in the WizTubers Discord, by the way. You wanted to give your takes on it.
We're talking purely just like on PvE, at most, like maybe advanced content.
Yeah.
Like raids, but not PvP.
But yeah, he said Kraken works, but they nerf effects. You remove 2 weaknesses for 1 heal.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
so
2 weaknesses for 1 heal.
that's
Okay,
not-
trash, below trash,
Oh,
the abyss. Put wherever Snow Serpent went, put it there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Abyss.
I-
Oh
I-
god,
It's gone.
it's off the tier list now. Yeah, 'cause
You
they
know,
did the
I
thing
really
with
want
Ice
to love
Forge.
this. Man, I really want to love this spell, and it's actually kind of decent, like at least early game. But it's like minions just aren't the wave, man.
Yeah.
Like it. I want to love it so much because like they actually did pretty good with like the minion. It's just like, oh, once I get past like not even like maybe like Celestia. Like at Celestia, they'll just get one shot. They get
Yeah.
sneezed on and die. It's
okay.
just. It's really hard to put it here,
Yeah,
'cause
would
I
not
actually
call
kinda
it a
like-
viable spell.
but it's just not viable. no.
It's like minions just in general are sort of like that. If we could control what they do, then it would be really, really great because, you know, starting a minion off with 4 pips. Or not 4 pips, but like extra health. I don't even know what I'm on about. I don't even-
Society, if we control mediums, it's like advanced civilization.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever used minions as a myth, so I'm just gonna go with trash, honestly.
All
I
right,
don't think they've
sounds
ever been,
good. Sounds
they've ever
good.
been worth it.
Oh, here's another blade removal. I would say this is pretty decent. Ice Wyvern.
Oh yeah, Wyvern is really good for ice specifically.
I would say like between these two, but I would say just because it's mainly ice, it's probably going here.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it too high just because of that. If it was chromatic traps, then it would easily be like vanilla bean. But
Yeah, amazing.
I would probably put Wyvern in decent. I like the utility it gives for ice. I can see myself using it a little bit, so I'd probably put it in decent.
Sounds fair. Sounds fair. This one probably put it right here with Storm Shark, maybe in the middle around here, just because like
Oh,
life can
Sarah.
actually set it up a little bit.
Yeah,
But I'll
life-
probably put it over here just because the damage.
I don't know. I've personally never used Seraph. I would.
Yeah,
Like, I'd
I
take
would
the
say
damage
like,
pack
early
on this.
game wise, like it probably belong over here. Even like a little bit later towards the end game, you could probably like still somehow set it up a little bit, but it'd probably go here.
You could set up. Was it the Nature's Wrath that was the damage over time with it?
Yeah.
This is the damage over
Yeah,
time, but
you
this
do
is
the-
based on
you do
healing over
the
time,
healing. Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can just have like a leprechaun to kind of set that up for you, kind of.
It's like.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, wait, how many
I think
rounds
like an
does a
elemental
leprechaun-
trap should be able to do it.
How many times
Oh,
does a
my bad.
leprechaun, or how many rounds does a leprechaun overtime heal for?
Dude, I wished I remembered. I could have sworn I was given 2 one time, but I think it was just one that
5
just
rounds.
buffed the
5
heal.
rounds.
5 rounds. Okay,
5 rounds.
so
I would put Seraph in decent.
I don't know. I'm a trash fan myself of this.
Trash.
Like,
Yeah,
I-
we're very divided on Seraph.
yeah, it's like
I know, I
just
like
setting it
damage.
up, you know.
I don't know. The damage is decent though. It's like even for like a fairly
Yeah.
early game spell, it's kind of decent. I would say this one
Genji,
has
we
way
are-
more variability though, just because the damage is just insane.
Yeah, the damage.
Janji,
can
we
go
are
up
going
a
to be
lot.
going through we're going through all the spells, Janji, so we'll get to the death spells as well.
Yeah, I
We're
think
going through basically all the Arc 1 and Arc 2 spells.
I might move it up to situational just because even if you have like 1 heal over time, like if you sprite into it, maybe it could be good. So
I would
I'll
say
take
if we're
situational
considering more
finance.
towards the end game, I'll probably I'd say like if we're considering more towards the end game, then yeah, I'd say put it over there. Immolate. How are we feeling about this one?
This is a really good trap counter.
It is.
And
Pull it up here.
It sets a.
I'm not sure how I
an
feel about the
gambit.
overtime part, but it's like traps is nice. Like this, like the fact that it's a really good trap counter is like the fact that it's not a gambit is like what makes it better than like a lot of them.
Yeah. It's a solid.
I would
counter.
put this. I would put this in decent. I think. I like the trap counter with it, and yeah, decent. I would say for it.
All right, we have like a whole Skittles now with all these spells.
Yeah.
Vampire. Yeah, that's just
Vanilla Bean.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, if anything, it'll probably be
Is this
Vanilla
the
Bean.
spell
But
that Sauce used against me the other day, and that gave me the minus 60
The
weaknesses?
60
Yeah,
weaknesses are
Vanilla Bean.
nuts, and
you still have a pretty good drain,
yeah,
which I think that could be enchanted still in damage in PvE. I'm not too sure on that one.
yeah, it's like
Dude,
it's like you get
Make more
2k
powerful
drain
weaknesses.
value, you put 60s
Sauce.
on the opponent.
Sauce used this against me in a PvP the other day, and my heart sank when I saw the 60 weaknesses for Storm. I was
like,
just
it's
like,
over,
dude,
guys.
what do I do?
It's
What do I do
over.
at that point?
Chromatic 60s, especially with how cheap the setup is. Like I would say this is undoubtedly Vanilla Bean. It's like even in
Okay.
PvE,
Yeah.
it's like if you need to weaken that Azteca boss, it's just 1 3-fold, and there you go. You know, chromatic weaknesses. I think for the dual school mobs and bosses that start in Mirage, I think it puts 60s on for both of their schools. I think that's how that works. So
Really?
I
We're
can't
gonna
remember.
go to the Vanilla Bean a bit for sure because I feel like we can move some of them up there.
Yeah, that's facts. But our first entry into the Vanilla Bean is the most overpowered card in the game, so you know how it goes.
All right, how are we feeling about Gearhead for PvE?
For PvE, it's a shift, so amazing by default. I'm playing, but like a shift and
Well,
a steel heal over time like a snowdrift. It's like that alone is honestly kind of nuts.
I feel like
But
I'm
it's
having a
like-
Mandela effect here, but was this spell originally a hidden bubble? Wasn't this originally a hidden bubble?
think it
or
was
am
a
I
hidden-
just
it's
You
like
like
talking
a
about
leap
the
bubble.
minion card or no?
the Gearhead Destroyer? Gearhead Destroyer. Oh no. I don't
I
really
don't
see
remember.
myself using the swap.
I think it's
healer
gonna have
thing.
Clockwork Spider.
Oh yeah, Clockwork
Oh,
Spiders, which is
maybe
pretty
that's
bad.
what I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
that's kind of what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Clockwork Spider.
But yeah,
I would put this spell in a situational trash because I don't see myself using the swap mechanic at all in PvE.
I'm
if we-
thinking. Well, 'cause think about it, right? It's like what we talked earlier, or Iceco talked earlier about, like just being like the lightning bat situation, where it's like, yeah, but like doing something with like damage overtimes is pretty huge if it's like a really big one. So for me, I would say it's in a decent tier.
Yeah, I would put it there too. From a PvE standpoint, I would say decent.
Purely just because like there's not much you could do with DOTs unless like you're a myth and you have like shift, or if you're like a life and you have triage, like just
Yeah.
purely.
And then this is shit
Actually-
for balance. So
That is
Yeah.
that is true. That is true. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah,
Alright.
I'll concede and put it in a decent. I'll concede for that one.
All right. Storms of like, can we agree this is pretty much kind of like vanilla?
yeah, I mean it has the
DOT removal, you literally get a chromatic blade that's like insanely good.
Yeah, it's like it's nuts. I would say Vanilla Bean personally. It's like
Now, don't
protected
worry,
overtime
guys,
removal
this
is
stuff-
nuts.
The stuff in them amazing. They might move up to vanilla. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah,
Some of
this
these
is
going
keep moving to
vanilla.
vanilla in a
This is-
bit.
The spell is insane. You move two overtimes for 45 blades. Yeah, no, Vanilla Bean for that
Listen,
one.
I'll take the gambit of like 30% chance of fizzing this just because the blades are that good, and it removes two, unlike lightning bats which only removes one, and like maybe some weakness.
Yeah.
Are the Art 2 Spellements going to be in Art Worlds or the event thing? I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the final dungeons of other worlds. So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
wanna
does that
spawn the
actually
Art
give
2 one-
okay legit, like does that actually like give like all the spellements? I'm assuming, like I wonder how that's gonna work and how many.
They'll
I'm
also start from
assuming
raid.
a lot of people are gonna. Farm for farm trial
Probably.
spheres. This one.
Yeah, that's true.
'Cause that's where the
Uh,
setup areas are.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how I feel about Minotaur. Like, it's okay. I just feel like the fire ones are like the fire shield removals are like better.
I
in my opinion.
wish I had this against Mob Flaming yesterday. I'm gonna keep it a stack. Those chromatic traps and clearing like.
That's what I like about it. At least it's chromatic. At least it's chromatic trap.
Like, I would advocate for this to be in Vanilla Bean, but you know, I could see it going lower.
I would say this will go at decent because like there are some bosses, like I think there's one in Imperia that
The new
just
Mayan
loves
Lion.
using like
That one.
yeah, use like a ton of shields, and I'm like, yo, let me just Minotaur my way through it.
Yeah.
And just like put a bunch of traps on him, make them stack somehow. Also, I think you can enchant these for some reason. I'm not sure if that's intended or if it's a bug that you can't enchant.
Might
them.
be a bug.
Like last time,
PvE.
you can it'll show that it's enchanted, but like I think I calculated the damage. It doesn't do the damage that's enchanted.
Stone
It's
Colossus
weird.
had that problem too.
Frenzy, real quick, can you explain Vanilla Bean again? Because some people are asking what
Vanilla
it is.
Bean.
Vanilla Bean. Okay, so Vanilla Bean is a tier where it's like it is just so good that it's essentially kind of like the definitive kind of meta. So what we have here on the side is like any damage in AoE known to man. Because like obviously if we're talking about PvE, you probably won't use like 99% of these. We're talking about potential viability.
Yeah.
But obviously everyone knows that if you want to get through the game, you're literally just going to play into AoE, which is like the vanilla way of playing. It's like basically the most basic way of playing is what I'm trying to say.
All right.
Hopefully that
for
clears it up.
Minotaur, for my take on Minotaur, I think that this spell was just already inherently really good for PvE.
Yeah.
But when you include the clear three shields, I don't know. That's either amazing to Vanilla Bean for me, for that spell.
Okay. I mean, I feel like yeah, it's a majority kind of rules. Since I'm going with decent, you guys are going with amazing. We'll go with amazing then.
Works for me. It has actually
All right,
been nerfed before.
Earthwalker. I heard.
Yeah.
Earthwalker. I mean, DOT removal was pretty big.
Yeah, it's,
Like
it's sort of like
it's just kind of. It's like between this.
yeah, it's like the reason why we put Stormzilla in Vanilla Bean is because it's like protected dot removal is like the best thing that any of these can do, but Stormzilla got way up higher because of the blade. This just gives 2 life specific overtimes. I don't know if I would
Which
put
is
this any
kinda
higher
like
than
whatever.
decent. Because it's
I
also
would
kinda
say-
help with the,
but decent as well.
Me don't like damage.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm more leaning towards this, but like, I want to see what Pluto thinks.
So with Earthwalker, I guess you could use it to set up like the Treant spell, right? The Nature's Wrath spell. But then again, I don't know.
You have
I
a
don't see-
point.
I don't really know how. Why would you like sacrifice the damage on Earthwalker when you can just like go top path with it for a Nature's Wrath spell? I don't know. I would put it probably situational to trash for.
I will
Earthwalker.
say the good thing about this, like before anyone says anything, at least you have a 10% chance of fizzing. Now here you have a 30% chance, but you gotta keep in mind those blades are huge. But I'm still, even with that being said, I'll probably still keep it here. Blighthound. Honestly, if Banshee wasn't changed, I easily would have put it over here. If Banshee wasn't changed, but because now it's changed, I'm thinking like maybe here, maybe. Because the damage would have been really huge, and if Banshee wasn't necessarily changed, like if it still kept like those 4 weaknesses, that's like all you would need to have like an insane ice like DPS spell. But it's changed, so now it's like it's not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, I personally
Yeah,
really like
Banshee just-
the conditional on it. Because it's like you're saying, it does mass if you meet the conditional, but...
Oh, then never mind. I thought this was on the enemy. I didn't read the card. Listen, man, the
yeah.
hieroglyphics, man, is
His
insane.
weaknesses on you.
Yeah,
this is
weaknesses
on you.
on
No,
you.
never mind, trash.
Oh, okay.
to
Yeah, no,
change
this
my mind.
spell's awful.
Yeah, I thought this was like on the enemy. Apparently, I can't read. I can't read pictures.
Personally, it's like this... I wish it would get, buffed. But... It's like, for what it's worth, if there's like infections on you for whatever reason, then it's good.
Is this the first please buff?
I
I
mean,
don't. How often
I
do
would
like
say so.
in PVE do any enemies even cast infection? I don't
Yeah,
think
that's my
enemies
thing.
really even cast it. So I would put it probably
Yeah, my name.
trash.
Yeah.
Most of the time they'll do weakness, and that's the thing you don't want.
Yeah, but it's like if
Technically,
it's the
this might
same
count though.
weakness.
If they do like the spirit diffuse or like the elemental diffuse, that technically
Yeah,
counts.
those they do count.
But that's like a very specific purpose. Like that's like a very, very like we're not even talking about situational to it. That's like once in a blue moon kind of moment.
Isaiah says that Blighthound is mid at best. So
Yeah. I didn't read the card initially. I thought this was like for the enemy for some reason, but yeah, I'm saying garbage.
Yeah.
Honestly, please buff. Like, come on, give Ice something. I mean, we're gonna talk about that in a minute, but
Oh, yes.
come
But
on.
I cannot wait until we get to Frost Giant. I
Yeah,
can't wait.
Yep.
guys, we're almost there. We're almost there. Phoenix. I'm not the biggest fan of Gambits a lot of the time, just because I feel like they take way too long to set up at times.
Oh, again, it's
This is one of those situations. It's like gambiting like traps, which you can make an argument. Use elemental traps or like spirit traps, get it easily.
I mean, that's just the same problem that I had with Snow Serpent. That's why Snow Serpent is off the map. It's like,
Well,
Yeah,
so wait,
it's
the gambit for this spell is it just adds the heal over time, right? That's what it does.
yeah.
I don't think it gives you multiple. I think it
Oh.
gives you like one.
It gives
It's
you
just like
one.
it does more.
Oh, that's.
So-
If it gave multiple, I think it would have been better if it gave multiple.
Are we thinking? Are we thinking off the tier list?
That's what I'm thinking.
PvE wise, it's going to the
PvE
abyss.
wise, yeah.
You would never use it.
PvE and PvP wise, it's off the tier list.
Oh, this is the easy one. All right, cool. We don't have to talk about that one. Spectral Blast. Okay, could someone explain to me Echo?
Oh,
like
wait.
I actually kind of.
But I don't even know what Echo does.
Okay, I want to talk about Pirate for a second. So,
Oh, okay,
Skeletal
hold on.
Pirate.
Control Z.
Yeah, so
Wait.
Skeletal Pirate. I actually.
Oh, I already heard that. Hold on.
Oh.
There you go.
Skeletal Pirate is like. It's a really good heal overtime counter. It's like what they're doing with heal overtimes makes it worse, but the fact that you can get a 50, like up to 50% tower shields, I like that.
That's pretty big.
Like
That's pretty big.
Like I like that. It's like if you're going against like a boss or something that heals and uses like protected heal overtimes, uses multiple heal overtimes like the new spells and all that. It's like this is sort of a gambit stopper.
Actually, the more I think about it, we're going like past Wallaroo. I feel like we're gonna get to a point where maybe they're gonna be considering getting more heal overtime enemies for the sake of doing a gambit.
Maybe so.
So this might be one of the best cards here. So, with that being said, I'm thinking just like for the potential future, maybe keep it at situational.
I like that. It's like I see Triton,
Yeah, I'd
which is the
probably
way
put
better
it
heal
at,
overtime counter, but for Pirate.
Oh
I
yeah,
like
but
situation.
still.
I can see this spell going into decent, but I'll put it in situational too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
situation.
I think
Okay.
it's a lot of potential with it.
All right, Mr. PvP guy, explain to us
Okay.
what Echo does.
So Echo, basically, for Spectral Blast specifically, if the target, like let's say Frenzy's going against Pluto, Frenzy's on his balance, Pluto's on his, I don't know, death or something. So Pluto uses Ghoul and gets 2 blades, and Frenzy can use Spectral Blast to, do all that damage, but then it'll also put 2 spears on Frenzy. It won't clear Pluto's blades, but Frenzy using the spell will give him pierce blades. So, the whole Echo thing, it really depends on how good the utility actually is. And I see Hydra, which I'll get into, but for Spectral Blast, it's like the Echo mechanic is not that great. It's like if the other person has something, you get it back. But if it wasn't, pierce blades, if it was regular blades, it would be way better. So personally, I would put this one off the tier list. I'm just gonna give it a stack.
So would you say this is more like a mimic kind of mechanic, where it's like it's just kind of copying?
Yeah. I know I went
Okay.
like full word salad a second ago, but
Yeah. So basically, it's like enemy has a blade, then I get a spear that's, I guess, based on their blade, or is it based on their school?
I think it's just a balance spear. I've never used it.
Oh,
I'll be
so
honest.
universal.
Yeah, universal.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest here. I still have no idea what this spell does.
Like it hits, and then it gives you spears based on how many blades the other person has.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sounds like a very interesting spell. Let's put it in the abyss.
I would also say put it in the abyss.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I maybe over here, but yeah, it's just no. There we go.
Yeah, into the abyss it goes.
All right, cool. I guess we're at the rank 6 now.
Yeah.
We're close. Trident, how we feeling?
I wish heal over time counters were just like better in and of themselves, because I'm looking at that and that's like the new Trident is a 60 blade, a 60 chromatic blade, which is really good. So I would say amazing, personally.
You're going amazing.
Yeah, just because it's like
I would
the blades that
say
you get.
the only issue I have with now is the same issue I have with Skeltspire or any sort of like enemy heal over time. They just don't use it that much.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
of
that's
now,
the
I would
problem.
say maybe put it like around decent for like, if we're talking about like the potential future.
Yeah. It's
As of
like-
right now, I'll probably say like very situational to maybe trash. But if we're talking just potential future, then I would say for now maybe decent.
Yeah.
And also maybe because like in advanced content, you'll see that more often anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
like it
for
in
for
a tier above pirate. Go on, sorry.
for Triton, does the clear 2, does it give you 2 60 blades, or do you need to clear 2 to get 1 60 blade?
It gives you. It's like if you clear 1 heal over time, it gives you 1. If you clear 2, it gives you 2.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, I would probably put that in maybe decent. I would say it
Okay.
could be
That
better
works for me.
though. So I would say decent.
Oh yeah, I really love this spell. I honestly do. I think this
Stealth
goes in
losses.
amazing, just because it's just a solid like weakness counter. It's like immediately weaknesses be gone.
I would say put it in Vanilla Bean. That's genuinely my
Vanilla
take.
Bean.
It is one of the
To
crazy
be
spells
honest,
in the game.
Novus, it's hella Vanilla Bean in Novus.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
so Vanilla
wait,
Bean.
The
in
fact that it
Novus.
clears 3 curses before hitting and then applying that deferred dot, which then you can use with Troll, and we've been over
Yep,
that.
yep,
So
yep, wombo combo right there.
Yeah.
And it's just 6 pips. Like at most maybe like 8 if you want to combine them with Troll and still
Yeah.
do a good bit of damage. Like it's solid.
Yeah.
I've used this in Freddy
Yeah,
before.
chat. I don't have the spell pulled up.
I
don't
I
have
use
the
it in
spell
Freddy
pulled
as
up 'cause
well.
I don't have any Spellements, but they're talking about Stone Colossus.
Okay, so Stone
I would put
Colossus
it in
is
amazing.
a 3. It's a 6 pip myth spell. Removes 3 weaknesses and puts a deferred dot. I believe the deferred dot increases based on the amount of weaknesses that,
Yes, it
and it
does.
does a set 585 damage, which like at max, oh, you could do a ton of damage
Yeah.
with this easily.
At max tier, it's 615 up front, and then I think the overtime
That's
is
insane.
180. Could be wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Like it is.
Okay, this in my
Yeah.
opinion is just better Leprechaun.
Yeah, Centaur definitely.
And like insanely. I mean, okay, the only issue, not chromatic blade.
Yeah,
that's the
that's
only issue.
I would,
But it is a better Leprechaun.
yeah, I would say the non-chromatic thing holds it down to decent for me.
I agree.
Yeah, it literally just is better Leprechaun. I'd put it decent to amazing. Probably decent.
Yeah, we're keeping that decent, Ben. Colossus, how you feeling about this one? This one's a little weird one because it's a Gambit one.
It's.
It used to be much better.
Yeah, back in the day, it used to put.
It used to be insanely broken.
It,
Oh my
used
lord!
to it used to gambit the shields, then put 65 traps on, and then hit,
That's
which
insane.
was nuts. But for right now, hitting first and then. Oh wait, no, this is a new Colossus. So it gambits.
This new one.
I can't even see it.
3
on the
weaknesses.
screen. So it gambits 3
Gambits,
weaknesses.
weaknesses.
I can
or
make it
55 traps.
larger.
Oh, put that in the
Boom.
abyss.
They're not
What the hell?
chromatic traps though.
What the hell am I looking at?
All right,
No,
let's go.
No chromatic traps though.
Yeah, it's like 55 traps are really
Yeah,
great.
that's the other
but,
issue.
Yeah.
It is.
Elephant.
trash.
No, before then, with the whole King Artorias change, I would have put it over here. It got upgraded. Now it removes 5 shields. I would say really good shield removal for like that's slightly cheaper.
Yeah.
DOT part, I mean, like, kind of whatever. But I will purely just use this for the shield clear. I would
Yeah.
probably put this as situational. just because the Fire King already exists, even though it's a little bit more pip cost.
What was that? What was that shield removal spell we were talking about earlier? What was
Which
that?
one?
The shield. There was a shield removal spell we were talking about earlier.
Elf.
For the Numian
There's
Lion.
Elf here.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I like it. I would put it in decent.
I would
honestly.
as well.
I like
Okay.
elephant.
Yeah.
Especially because the more shields you remove, it's like that's more damage on the overtime.
Okay, as of right now, the most controversial spell at current date in PvP, right here.
Oh, good old Wraith. But for this
Good old
specifically,
Wraith.
for this specifically, it's like if you're like rose blading, for example, it's like amazing. But it's like blades are still too easily countered right now. So
Yeah,
plus there's like bosses that are like no blades, that type of thing.
that is true.
I don't know. I put it situational. That's what
I agree.
Really?
The weaknesses are too big for it to be trash, in my opinion.
Yeah. Situational.
The
decent.
issue is the gambit part.
Yeah.
That's the issue. The issue is the gambit part, because keep in mind, when you do a gambit, it's stuff that benefits you that's being utilized for the sake of utility. Like, it'll be removed for the sake of some extra utility.
Plus,
usually.
the gambit's the blades first, so it's like you
Yeah.
can't use that with a single
Okay.
blade.
You won't use the blades.
A
Well,
spirit
assuming
blade would be
okay,
good.
you can make the argument if you use like a spirit, but yeah, like a spirit blade, maybe. But I still think it'll probably still technically remove one of your death blades. I think death is second now, like in the spirit blades department.
I think death is second. Yeah.
Oh, they did move.
It's like
pretty
life,
sure.
death, and then myth.
I think so. Actually, I think it's myth. I thought it was myth first.
I don't remember.
But yeah, I would put this spell probably in decent. If
Can we
it,
get like a?
let
Does
you
anyone in
use the
chat know
blades.
like how the order goes for spirit blades? Like that would honestly change a lot of things. Actually,
I mean, right now it's death and myth and life. But if you're saying they changed it,
death, myth, and
Oh, it's
life.
death first. Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's death first that gets removed, then yeah, I'll say situational then.
or well, death,
Yeah, I'm
it'll
gonna
gambit the
find
myth
the
and life,
situation.
but then it'll use the death blade for the damage.
Oh yeah, that's
No,
true. Because if it's death
Oh, so-
first, yeah,
so-
that's true.
Okay, so if it makes the
I
death
put it
blade
in-
usable, I'd probably put it at decent then.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
so.
decent.
I would
Yeah,
put
because
it
you still
that.
get like a really nice drain, and the ones that get removed. I mean, you'll get the blades that you don't necessarily want removed, and like you'll have like an insane survivability utility, and then you get the drain anyways. Even though it's not as big as like the drain you'll get if you didn't go utility, it's still pretty huge. So I would say this will go in decent for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I put it in decent.
Okay, how are we feeling about Hydra Echo? How would that
Ooh.
work?
The new
Not another
Hydra.
echo.
The new
Not
Hydra.
another
Before
one.
this was like above Vanilla Bean, but now I would say since it echoes after, and it does meat damage, I'd call it situational.
Okay. So it'll just put like shields based on the opponent, right? The opponent's school.
It's
I'm
tower
assuming?
shields.
Oh, tower shields.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like assuming like okay, it's the damage first. Any shield that remains,
Gets
it's gonna be right. Any shield that remains gets echoed up
Yeah.
to 4.
So does
Okay.
the echo means it puts those shields on you? Is that what it does? Or
Or it's
is it...
like the other
someone
person
else?
still has the shields. You just get shields.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'd probably put
Okay.
this.
I think it's situational.
maybe. Decent situational.
Yeah, the new Hydra is situational.
Because you have to kind of hope that the boss or mob you're going against is just putting hella shields. Like you have to basically hope that you're going against those manders, the mech manders, that one boss
Oh,
in like
those.
freaking Imperial that everyone knows of. Yeah, you have to hope for those to like actually get like the full benefit of it.
Yeah,
And even if it's just a little bit of benefit, like one tower shield is like, yeah, whatever. Like I could just use anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, these are like probably one of the weirdest spells because like I don't know if some of them are bugged or if they're intended to be like single target spells. Like it's just weird. Like I was trying to test them out, but like I didn't necessarily 100% understand how it worked. But we have right now Stormlord, which gives a 70% chromatic
Is that
blade
symbol?
per heal over time.
That's what I'm saying. The chromatic
Dude, what
symbol
is that
awful.
symbol? Wait, no, not the chromatic symbol. I'm looking at the new one. There's a new selected enemy symbol.
What is?
Oh, really?
this?
Wait, do they actually?
It is a
have one?
new symbol in game right now. Selected enemies. 720 selected enemies. Yeah. Oh no, that's a weird. It's a weird looking symbol, but yeah, Stormlord, 70 chromatic blades per heal over time. Again, like I don't see it really being used
Oh
that
yeah,
much.
Me neither.
I see what you mean
know.
now about the new symbol. I see what you mean.
I'm on Pyre right now, so I'm not looking at the new symbol. But
You're going yarg.
I mean, Dread's up
What
in
are these-
Realm Avery.
Walter
so
says bootleg divide.
yeah, it is
Yeah, basically
bootleg.
bootleg divide, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
no,
I don't know.
I'd put it situational, maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
same.
say so.
Pushing-
Too. That's
pushing on
pretty
trash.
huge.
It's like it's again with the damn heal over times.
Yeah, no one uses really heal over time.
We have
to
so
set
many
up
situational
anything.
spells right now that these are like the things that are filling up the whole list right here. It's just these two.
Yeah.
What happens when you run out of room frenzy?
We're gonna just like ratchet our way, just kind of slide them in.
Oh yeah, just like slightly cover them all. Yeah.
As you guys are talking, I'm like, yo, let me just
running out of
slide it real
room,
quick.
Does Storm even use HOTs? They can use HOTs.
They
like, for some
can.
other spells, but it's like it's not practical. I wouldn't.
I would say
use
it's
it.
more like
Yeah.
an end game thing. They can do a little bit more efficiently. I would say mid to end
Yeah.
game a little more efficiently.
It's better in advanced combat because you could set up Jin with it, but like in normal PvE, like it's not really that usable.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you were to
Okay.
bury new Stormlord, P-Serve Jin, then, you know.
Yeah. They should make all the Jin, Oni, whatever spells usable in normal PvE. Because that would make a lot of these spells better.
I agree.
It would make a lot of
I
these spells
agree.
actually usable.
I agree wholeheartedly. All right, Orthrus. I don't like it that much.
Gambits, 4 shields for a deferred dot. Yeah, no.
They're
It's
trash.
kind of like, PvE. I mean, I could maybe PvP. It's like, hey, we brought back the double doggo animation or something. I don't even know if they actually brought it back. or
They
not.
did.
They did.
Apparently
Yeah,
it's
I
know.
broken.
They didn't? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I would say kind of trash. I'm
I would say
not a
trash.
fan.
I feel like we don't throw it off the list, but I would say trash.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably see like
Trash,
maybe a
yeah.
single target situation, combo it with the troll or something, but it's just like, I don't know,
Yeah.
man. This is, I prefer the original. Forest Lord, kind of the same thing, except it's blades now.
Before it actually hits. So
Yeah, before it hits, and it's also like overtime based too.
yeah.
It's
Forest
just-
Lord here.
Dots.
It's a yikes.
Yeah, that is a yikes. I would put it.
No,
in
this spell
trash.
just looks garbage.
Yeah.
This spell just looks actual garbage.
can't
Should
use
we send it to the
blades with it.
abyss?
Maybe even the abyss, yeah, maybe because
The abyss.
I
Well,
mean,
they
I
you
guess
just
I'd
basically
avoid it.
turn it. You basically just turn it into an overtime. Yeah, no, dude. No.
All right,
It's gone.
here's the moment that like I think everyone here is waiting for. Now, before we get to that, let's just talk about like the new version. How we feeling?
The new Frost Giant, it's just a counter. That's pretty much all it is. It's just a counter.
Good blade removal, but it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like what it's like whatever. It's like maybe
Why?
single target wise, it's okay. I would
Why?
say I don't know. Maybe over here. Maybe over here. It's like in the
It's
middle
like-
of these two. I'll
They
keep it a buck.
want us to use these selected target spells and like team PvP, which doesn't exist by the way, and and like raids and stuff. But
PvP's been dead since
7
Palpatine.
7 pips. It's just like nobody's ever gonna use that.
Quite hefty too. Quite hefty. I think honestly, even I mean, sure the trap is chromatic, so like yeah, but I don't
Is
like it.
I think it's universal.
It doesn't even
It
show
is-
chromatic.
doesn't show
Chromatic.
the
It's
chromatic
universal.
symbol.
It's my bad. It's a universal. All right, we already know about this one. All right, go off. Y'all can just go off for a second.
Oh yes, the base
Why
Frost
is
Giant.
ice so ass?
Literally. It's like they are going out of their way to ignore us on it. It's like I have spoken to Cam
I don't
about
understand. Like I really don't. I really don't
I don't
understand
know.
because it's like here's the thing. I love stuns. The problem I have with stuns, and I've talked about this so many times, is they haven't done anything to make stuns viable like at all in PvE. And I can understand why they made bosses stun immune and stuff. It's because they didn't want you to just cheese every fight, you know, stun into stun into stun, especially when Medusa came around, because then you got a 2-round stun into a 2-round stun. But there was ways they could have gone around it, like, hey, maybe give these bosses stun blocks in their arsenal. Do the PvP method where it's like they get stunned, they get some stun blocks. Give them 2 stun blocks if anything. They just didn't do any of it.
Here, let me tell everyone about the polls I did about Frost Giant.
Oh yes.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go off.
Here, because I did a ton of them. So, okay, I'm just gonna read the thread I did on Twitter about it. So recently, I've been doing polls on multiple platforms on whether or not Wiz should remove the stun on Frost Giant, and here are the results for them. So for my YouTube poll, I think it's now 400 people have voted on it. About 87% say remove the stun for more damage, and 13% want to keep it the same. As for Twitter, about 70% wanted to remove the stun, 30% wanted to keep it the same, and on my Instagram poll, which had like 200 votes, 58% said remove the stun, 42%, excuse me, said keep it the same. However, I was a little confused by that result, so I asked if they should do a Spellement path on Instagram for Frost Giant that removes the stun, and I think it was 96 or 95% said yes for that. So Cam went on stream like this was a few months ago, and he said that the community doesn't like change. And I did all these polls, and I published all the results, even the result that wasn't very favorable, which was the first Instagram poll. But all of the results basically say the community wants the stun removed, or at least wants a path that removes the stun, a path C that removes the stun on this spell. They need to just get rid of the stun, give it like 100 more damage. The DPP for Ice, I think it's like 85 per hit. This spell should be doing about 580 to 600 some. But because
that's
stun, it just does nothing.
That's before pip acceleration. And I've actually done the math.
I just realized something. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, it's like after pip acceleration, it's like the community has done the math for them, and the spell should be doing 640 without the stun per Ratbeard himself, like the numbers that he gave for that. So it's like they need to stop going out of their way to ignore us. I tried to talk to Cam, he got all defensive for one message, and then aired me for the rest of the day. So that was fun. That was fun.
So here's my thing, right? It's like the whole idea of like people wanting the stun to stay with Frost Giant. That was like what, a year or two ago, before we even got like any of the AOE changes for like every other school. Now we have them available for every other school except for Ice for some reason. Actually, Storm is kind of on that same list, but like at the same time, like Stormlord just does so much damage already. So it's like, I
was just about to say, why is Stormlord doing so much? If the stun is really that valuable, then why do they have Stormlord still doing like a ton of damage? If they were going by that logic, Stormlord should have lost 100 damage because of the stun. So I don't know. They have no excuse to just not buff the damage. They need to buff the damage on Frost.
I agree. It's like, it's just very silly. And I understand the whole idea of like, hey, we understand that players don't necessarily like change. It's pretty common kind of within the PvE community, especially because like they're very accustomed to like, damage oriented ways of playing, which like that's fair, right? Because like that is the fastest way to clear content. The game was made that way. The game's a stats game. When like in comparison, Pyro 101, it's more like power based. It's more on the strategy that you have for your setups and your build of like your weapon type, rather than like, oh hey, I got like 10 extra damage kind of thing. But it's like, this is a thing that I feel like a lot of people now, like before then, yeah, maybe it was like a 50-50 where like half the population, like myself, I was actually one of the people that did like the stun thing, but that was because I had that idea that like, okay, maybe they'll get around, not making every boss known to man stun immune for years ago, by the way. This is like years ago. Right. Now, nothing has changed. Everything has stayed the same except for Frost Giant getting like the damage it deserves. And at this point, I would say just remove the stun entirely. Like, just literally give the damage. I don't think, like, a majority of players would complain. It will probably be, like, a really small minority of, like, I don't know, maybe 10%. That's,
And
like,
the
at
trolls.
most.
And even if for the
trolls.
players that don't want change, they should literally just add a path C. They've done it for so many spells.
Yeah,
have 3
The
paths.
problem is Cam.
It doesn't make any sense.
Cam will go on for hours and hours and hours about how, oh, we're gonna use Path C for something way down the line, and that's why we can't add a Path C. And I'm like, that's
Yeah,
way
then
down
add
the
a
line.
4th path. Exactly. Then add a 4th path. When you
If
get
that's
down
the
to
case-
that, then add a 4th one.
Well, they're
Okay,
tag
if that's the
limited.
case, then just literally just remove the stun, because that's literally what the majority of players are asking for now. Like, they're not asking for it in Stormlord, because I think a lot of people can agree that Stormlord does a really good amount of damage for its cost.
Yeah.
Also, because they have many other spells that do an insane amount of damage, so it's like, do you really need the Stormlord to like have even more damage, like without the stun? It's like some people might say yes, but I feel like a lot of people are pretty satisfied with like Storm's damage already.
Yeah.
That they just kind of wouldn't see that much of a difference.
Facts.
Another thing, didn't Frost Giant used to do like wasn't it 485 for a while? It was like 25 more
475,
damage.
and then it got
475, and then they nerfed it for some reason. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What was the point of
Yeah.
that?
They technically brought it back now. If you think about it, you just gotta
Yeah.
grind your butt off.
You have to beat up Archmagus Lorcan for 30 hours, and then now you can do what he used to do.
But yeah,
fact that
easily,
here-
guys. This goes to like, please buff. Come on.
Yeah.
The fact that tier 5 Frost Giant still does lower than tier 1 of every single other 7-pip AoE is just
By like
that's just crazy.
100.
It's bad.
I know
It's
that's
bad.
just like crazy.
Listen, I was that guy that was like, yo, guys, you know, as a myth main, I really wanted Orthrus to be like pure damage, or we could just get like a pure damage spell, kind of like Tempest, but like the myth version. Because like I had 2 options. I had either Earthquake, which is like a set amount of damage, or Homongo Frog, which could potentially give me slightly more damage, or it will potentially give me even lower damage. So I was suffering for the longest time.
Yeah.
And once those AoEs start to come through, like, you know, Mystic Colossus, I felt so much better. And then when the Orthrus change came, I felt even better. I was like, finally, we get something nice. Unfortunately, that hasn't really happened for Ice Wizards.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so excited when Orthrus got changed. The biggest one they need to do is change Frost Giant, but I'll
Definitely.
give my take on Fire Dragon too. I think Fire Dragon's some ass too, but we'll get to that. All right, next spell, I guess.
The next spell, I mean, it is Fire Dragon. What'd you feel about this?
Fire
Go
Dragon.
off, King.
Okay, well let's talk about the bottom path first. I'll talk about the top path in a sec.
It's just pure damage, right?
For the
Isn't it
bottom
just pure
path?
damage? No, top path for Fire Dragon.
No, it's
Okay.
it's got the AoE or the
Yeah,
overtime still.
the overtime. The overtime.
No, I'm
They
talking
need
about the
to-
top path, because you say you wanted to talk about the top path.
That we
Okay, all
are.
right, I'll talk about the top path. Okay, so for the top path, I think what they should do, they should have another path that removes the overtime on this spell, or at least lessens the overtime by a lot and gives it more base damage. Just because the meta for fire right now, if you can do it, is just Scald Incendiate. So why not just give Fire Wizards that extra damage? They did this for death a while ago because with drains you used to be able to enchant it would do half of it, but now that's what it does for fire. So I think that they should change that, either make it so that the entire enchant gets added to the first hit, or just add a path that completely removes the overtime. I would much rather have 550 damage or 540 damage,
Yeah.
no overtime, and my entire enchant gets added to the 540.
No,
Even if
I
it's
would
weak,
agree.
I would much rather that.
No, I would agree. It's like, it's one of those spells where you purely are going to be using it for this initial damage rather than, you know, it's DOT damage. Like, it's very rare where you're like, yeah, if I don't kill it, then the DOT will. It's like, maybe Arc 1 or something, and then after a while you're like, no, I wanted to kill it, like, now.
Dude, there's a reason why people use Dragoon AoE Fire Dragon over
It's just
this.
so good.
Yeah.
I know, it was so much better than the spell.
Oh, yeah. I still use it on my fire. Like, I just
yeah.
can't let it go.
But
Cheaper, too.
yeah, I would for the bottom path. We can discuss that real quick, I guess. I don't know. I don't think it's any good.
I don't think so that much either. It's just kind of there.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
woo, DOTs, and even if it was a single target thing, I'm like, I don't know. It's a weird one, like, because even you can make the argument, it's like, yeah, but you can like detonate. It's like, well, yeah, but then chances are it's gonna probably detonate the weaker one when you do the clear.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like these new changes make detonates worse, but I mean, spreading the damage across multiple overtimes, it's like, it's a neat little idea, but ultimately, like, nobody's gonna use it.
Yeah,
So
no-
what we're
ain't no way
thinking?
I'm
Are we
doing bottom half for this
thinking
one.
trash or are we thinking the abyss?
I would say
I'm thinking
trash.
probably. I'm thinking the
Trash.
abyss. Honestly, I don't see anyone going bottom half.
Fair enough.
I don't think so either. It's gone now. Okay, not gonna lie, maybe it could be a hot take. I think this is pretty awesome. Scarecrow?
Scarecrow. Let's see.
Really solid survivability spell that you can use.
So
I would say it's like between these two. Decent to awesome to amazing. I can even make it bigger for you.
So
in
it
case you
does
need it.
the damage, and then it clears 5 blades for 40% chromatic weaknesses. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Hey, and everyone watching my stream, my my noties aren't working. So whoever followed, thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'll have to fix that when I stream again. For Scarecrow, I would say. Okay, so this clears 5 blades on the opponent.
Yep.
Right. Oh, this is just good. This is this is really good.
It's one
put
issue,
this
which
in
I'm
a-
not sure if it's intended or not, but apparently, according to, I think one of my viewers, Dylan, they said that apparently you can't enchant it, which I guess that's maybe an oversight. I'm not sure. They don't really explain that
Yeah.
enough in terms of like, if you can actually do a thing or not, in terms of like enchanting.
Wait, can you not enchant the other 7 spells, or is it just Scarecrow?
I don't know. Apparently it's an issue for a handful of spells. Like, Minotaur has
I'm gonna
that same
test it.
issue where it's like, it fakes it where you can enchant it, but then when you actually look at, you try to calculate the damage and everything, it shows that it's just doing the same as a regular one for some reason. It's just weird.
You're right, I'm
Yeah, I think
test
Scarecrow's
that.
suffering from the same thing. Except now it's like, oh, you just can't enchant it at all, apparently.
This is a better blade counter than Frost Giant is, by a lot. I would call it maybe decent.
I would say it's so. I would say it's so, yeah.
I would say D is amazing for it, but if you can enchant it, it goes amazing. But if you can't,
Yeah, if you can enchant it, it will easily go in amazing tier. But if you can't enchant it, then I would say it's still pretty decent. Really big survivability spell that like any school can train, like anyone can train now, which is pretty awesome.
Suppose so.
Power Nova.
Oh boy.
Well, I saw that this actually does work. I tried using this. I tried using Raw instead, but this gives you a pip per enemy shield. And I think this is one of those like divided AoE spells that does work along with Raw. But this one's like just a regular pip instead of like a power pip. So because of that, I would say it's probably in between here because I think Raw is just undoubtedly better in this situation.
looks like my whiz crash. Let's go.
You can get on Pirate and come do Renegade Dreadnought now.
Yeah.
Why not?
For Power Nova.
Oh, never mind. Whiz is okay. My whiz just decided to die for a sec.
Duh.
Oh, let's see. Let me look at Power Nova.
For Power Nova, it's like this is a PvE stream, so I can't put
It is
in
a
vanilla
PvE
bean,
stream. I mean, we can talk about like in terms of raids too. Like raids is still technically it's more hardcore, but it's still kind of counts.
I mean, for this Power Nova, I would say situational. That's what I would put it at.
Because I just think Raw is better. It's just a better version.
600 damage and 1 pip per shield. So for PvE, if you use this spell on multiple targets, do you get it for everyone's shield? Like,
I believe
if it's,
so, which is
Yeah,
that's
because like for
pretty,
Raw, it's based on the amount of blades that like the enemies have on themselves, and I remember it counting for the blades that were remaining on the other enemies.
don't know. I think that's pretty good.
I would say it's situational, but I would say it's like it's definitely in between these two. I just don't see. Here's the thing: enemies do shield. I feel like they blade more than they shield, especially when it comes to the quantity.
That's true. I'll go decent for it, or maybe yeah. I can see where you're coming from. I'll say situation.
Yeah. I mean, keep in mind all these 7-pip spells. You're sacrificing AOE damage for the sake of utility, and the utility is decent. I just think that what we have after is just so much better in comparison.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You wouldn't be using this for the damage.
No.
Where are my spells? I wanted to
switch characters again.
No.
I wanted to test and see whether or not you could enchant the 7-pip spells, but my hand is just completely not here for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
Like you're like, I'm looking at your stream. Your thing
like pedal hand is like completely just not here.
Yeah.
What's going on?
All right, so what we have now is the rank 8 spells. So we're almost done, chat. We're almost done. Leviathan, really good DOT counter. Just really good DOT counter. Although it's expensive.
It is expensive, and
very expensive.
I would much rather use Stormzilla as opposed to Leviathan. I don't see myself.
In my opinion, yes, I agree.
It's like Leviathan could be a good counter to something like Rain of Fire, but actually, no, it wouldn't, depending on the conditional.
The conditional is if you clear 3 DOTs, you just give a -35 universal weakness on the enemy. So basically, I guess up to 3 of them get on the enemy.
Yeah.
I still prefer Stormzilla though.
Stormzilla is way better for this, without a doubt. I would put Leviathan maybe in situational, just in case somebody uses like.
I'd put it in situational too. Yeah, situational for it.
All right, sounds good to me. Oh man, I gotta start moving this stuff. We're full.
Oh no. See, we get any
all right, next Medusa. So what we have here is 645 myth damage and Gambit 4 traps for a plus 55 chromatic trap.
Remember Snow Serpent and Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's one of those.
It's one of those.
It's like, I don't know. It's I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I do like the trap though, but it's just maybe.
It's like 8 pips.
In my opinion,
you know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's easier to have like a universal trap for Minotaur than it is for a Medusa.
Yeah, it's like.
Okay, here's the counter argument though. What if you set up with like spirit traps?
With spirit.
But even then, it's like it's still kind of like you probably still may not use it that much.
Yeah, especially because it's like they just cheat.
Setup takes too long.
Hey,
yeah, I think the setup will take too long.
My bad, chat. I was trying to test and see whether you could enchant.
As we wait for Pluto.
Yeah,
I'm gonna move some stuff.
Wiz decided to basically just die for some reason and not let me cast any spells. So yeah, my thought on Medusa, I don't know. Honestly, if you're gonna gambit traps for chromatic traps, I don't know. I don't really see the point for it. In my opinion,
the biggest issue with this spell, it's expensive.
That's true. Yeah, 8
for a very
that.
long setup. Yeah, it's expensive for a very long setup. Is what I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd put it probably in trash. Honestly, I wouldn't put it all the way there.
You said situational, Pluto. Not Pluto. Ice Cold.
I said just take it off the map.
Take it off the map.
I'd put it. Maybe I'd take it off the map. Trash.
Anything that gambits traps after it hits.
That is true. That is true. I would, because even then, it's like, think about it, right? It's like, actually, I'm not gonna give this analogy because it's like it just wouldn't make sense to a lot of people. But essentially, it's a situation where even if you were to try to set this up, chances are you may kill the enemy before it even activates the gambit. Yeah, there's a good chance. So I would say, yeah, the Abyss. That's probably where it belongs. All right, Rebirth.
Vanilla
we have
Bean.
Rebirth here.
Vanilla Bean. Is there a tier above Vanilla Bean?
No, this is the max.
Wait,
he's
I
been
gotta,
rolling.
I gotta go buy a rebirth Spellement so I can look at this.
Okay, so what it is, it's basically better Leprechaun again, but it's a survivability spell, if anything.
Yeah, so this actually goes up to 2,325 at max tier. So
Wait,
this is
2,000?
without a doubt, like, if there is a tier above Vanilla Bean, I would put it there.
We don't
This
even
spell
gotta
does
talk about. I mean,
$2,000
this we'll
heal?
talk about PvP. At most, we'll talk about
Wait,
raids,
this
but
is the,
I mean, like, this isn't even, like, my peeve brain turning on. This is just in
this is
general.
PvE. This is just like, yo, guys, I
Dude,
just can never
what?
die.
Yeah, like, literally, if you...
Oh yeah, no, this spell's Vanilla Bean for sure. This is the
Yeah.
biggest heal in game. I
Yep.
think this is the biggest heal you can possibly do in game right now, and it's
So-
only
Yeah.
8 pips.
It's like...
Yeah, literally.
PvP players, like, they have been doing this, but if you use the Adapt Aura, which puts on... which, like, it gives you a power pip for... Like, if you
For
if you
incoming,
get
rank
affected
5
by
to
a
7.
spell that is
Yep.
more than 6 pips, it's like they can do that, Rebirth, Dark Surge with a Shad, Rebirth again.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's like, if the health cap is like 15k, there you go. You go from 2k to 15k with just that.
Yep. And it's like,
Absolutely busted.
let's not even talk about the Gambit. Let's just talk about the fact that you get like a really large heal. The Gambit's
Yeah.
just a bonus.
Yeah, it really is.
It's literally just a bonus. It's like, yo, here's a blade. You're welcome. Why?
Yep.
I don't know. Just cause.
Yeah, no, I would see myself using this rebirth over the top path rebirth in,
Yeah.
PvE.
Like-
honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm actually gonna
This is
be.
basically like better region.
Yeah.
It's literally what this is.
It's like I am actually gonna quit
Yeah.
PvP because of the spell. Like I'm stopping like entirely because of the spell. It's like there's no copy limit, and even if there was,
That's
like
rough,
at that
buddy.
point you'd have Pigsy, Regen, and Rebirth. So I was like, what
Yeah,
do you
that's
do? You know?
You're
insane.
gonna have the return of the Jades.
The Return of the
probably
Jays.
with
That's
this
why I'm
one.
quitting. So
Attack of the Jades.
yeah, it's like this spell alone has taken me out of the PvP scene the moment the update drops.
It's crazy.
That is how crazy this spell is. And it's
Bro,
like, even
I
in
feel
PvE
so bad
too.
for you, man.
Yeah,
I feel
PvE is
so bad for you because like the next spell we're reviewing. It's just.
Oh yes.
I love this
What's the
spell.
next one?
This is my favorite. Aesthetically, this is like my most favorite ice spell.
Same. Wait, a Gambit's
And just
traps?
look at it.
Yeah, Gambit's traps. Get it
Oh,
out of
Snow
here.
Angel.
Minus
Maybe
30
another
weakness,
Snow
I
Angel.
guess.
Hey,
I mean, I
Gambit's
guess
traps.
that's cool.
Get it out of here.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
Why,
there's no
why
saving
do they
it.
just hate ice? That's what I don't
I don't
understand.
know.
Why?
And okay, the
Angel is
next spell they
literally
have
the
coming
worst
up is
item
kind
in
of
the game.
decent though. The
Yeah,
next spell coming
that
up is
is
kind of
good.
decent. Yeah, but let's go with the next spell. Ifrit. How we feeling?
Oh, I need to buy all this Spellements
So
again.
it does its damage and then applies an OT for 6 rounds per.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna go to sleep with this spell.
for real per overtime on the
Yeah,
target.
just think about it.
So this is one of those where it's like you could Fire Elf into it, maybe. You could Elephant into it, maybe. But overall, I would just call this very, very situational. I don't see myself
Yeah,
using it that
definitely.
much. The right setup can
Yeah,
make it
definitely.
really good, but
I would say it would go from situational to trash. I would lean more
Yeah.
towards situational, purely because potential gambits you can do with
Hi,
it.
Jacob, how you doing?
But it's just like, ah man, it's one of those where it's like, oh hey, I'm gonna be watching animation of DOTs for like the foreseeable future. Like, I
Pretty
might as well
much.
take a small break where I'm at it. I'll do some stretches as it like slowly kills the enemy. I probably will kill the enemy of boredom.
I'm looking at the wrong spell. I'm looking at the wrong spell. I was looking at Fire Trainer. What am I doing? I'm supposed to be looking at Ifrit.
We're not there yet.
Whoops. My bad. I was about to say, I was like, what are you guys talking
We're
about?
almost there. We're talking
I was like, this
Ifrit.
smells
Yeah.
good. I was like, this smells good. What?
Nah.
no, this
The
smells
King
bad.
Arcs, we love them, except for one maybe.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
those.
no, I don't. The spell is like, dude, you just be watching animations all day.
I'm literally just gonna like watch the enemy die of boredom, then like
Pretty
actually die.
much.
This is
Yeah,
the
no,
die of boredom
it's
spell.
Trash. I'd put it in trash.
All
There's
right, I'm
another
thinking
Dire
era.
Boredom spell coming up.
End of the era of 45 weakness, 90 weakness to 45 weakness.
Yep. All right, here we have next Skeletal Dragon. This one's pretty good.
Oh,
I
that's
think
like
this one's
blades
pretty
to
good.
blades.
Yeah, it's literally like Ghoul, except it's not a Gambit. It's like easier to set up. Just like let the enemy blade themselves for a bit.
Yeah.
Although keep in mind, it loses its DOT, so like you can't really like do it through a shield usually. But it is a solid single target damage spell with the added utility later.
Yeah.
This one's pretty in the middle of situational to decent.
I feel like
And call up spells,
situational is where I would put this, because blades to blades, it's like it's decent, but it's like you never see people use it. Gentle Larceny, you know, it's like there's better
That is true.
counters.
We also have to think about this way, the same way we did with Medusa. What's the likelihood you're gonna see the utility come through? Because
That's
it is pretty solid damage. You might end up killing him before you even get the blade.
I mean, actually, that
Yeah,
is
Maybe
That's
there's
true.
like there are certain fights, like let's say for
You know-
example, I don't know, the that one fight in Karma where it reduces your damage by a decent bit, and you won't be able to kill them outright. Maybe situations like that, maybe.
You see, I'm inclined to put this spell a little bit higher, mostly because I don't like the OT on Stealth of Dragon.
Yeah.
I actually like it.
but
You know,
the-
you could combine with Troll. You know.
I mean, the utility is like, it's whatever. But I do like how it's just all one single hit, and it's a big death hit. Because Avenging Fossil before was kind of
Yeah,
garbage.
it is an upgrade though. Like, you know, objectively speaking, it is an upgrade that it's a single target hit, technically.
I would probably put this spell in decent, in my opinion. I'd put it in decent.
All right, then I guess we'll move it up here then. Also, I gotta make it smaller because I'm also running out of space. All right, cool. Raw. Now this one is vanilla, in my opinion.
Oh, for the pips.
Yeah, it's literally like, hey, enemy has blade, get a power pip, you're welcome. Up to 5, you basically
is
get
just
like 10
insane.
pips.
Yeah, no, this spell is just insane.
It's
And it's like, let's keep it a buck. The top path, it's fine. It doesn't really do as much damage already. I'd rather just have the second utility.
Yeah, for sure. Top path sucks. I would love this utility on obviously no PvP version, but like a non divide damage thing. I would love it.
That is true.
It would be
That
so
is
for
true.
PvE. It'd be so good.
Yeah,
You
that
literally
is
just better
true.
power Nova. Literally just better power. Nova.
You could literally like, I don't know, like, there's maybe a situation like, maybe if you want like a shield, like, let's say they decide using like a Legion shield, just use this spell, get like the pips necessary to power Nova immediately after.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like one of the most vanilla expensive spells because you
I would just, like-
you can get a max benefit of 10 pips, which means that you get a
for
positive
sure.
trade. You get the extra 2 pips as a positive trade.
Dude, it's basically just a free hit at that point. You literally
Yeah.
just like if it doesn't kill, oh well, I'll just use my 10 pips. I'll just cast it again
Yep.
over and over.
Yup. One of
Oh, yeah,
those.
for sure, Vanilla Bean tier. I'd put it there.
That's fair enough.
All right. All right. Next spell. We're at the rank 9 spells. What we think about Sirens?
Sirens.
975 storm damage, Gambit 4 blades for a 65% chromatic blade.
Gambit 4 blades for 165 chromatic blade. Is that how the spell
I
works?
think it's each.
If
like
it's
up to 4 each.
If
Yeah.
it's each, then it's
Up to
really good.
yeah, up to 1 each. Yeah, I think it's 1 each. It should be.
I would hope so.
You see, that's the problem. That's the problem. Is like, unfortunately, I don't have like all max wizards, so like I wouldn't know 100%.
Oh yeah.
I'm working towards it, but yeah, I'd probably put this in. I'd probably put it in maybe situational to decent. Honestly,
Yeah, I would say
I
so.
like top path a little bit better.
Yeah, I would say so as
I'd
well.
say maybe decent.
Because you gotta keep in mind as well, it is expensive. Very expensive. Like all these spells are expensive now. It's expensive, and now you have a situation where you have the divided damage because this is technically an AOE, but now this will do like the new divided AOE.
Yeah.
And it'll do just a lot less damage. So like, luckily it does do the hit before the whole gambit, but I just feel like by then you probably are gonna be out of pips to do anything else.
Yeah, that's true. It's good for what it is, but you need to like piece it into a shad, for example.
Basically. So I would say, what would you think? I'm thinking in between. I would say situational, just because like the blade is really good. You
Yeah,
can't
me
really
too.
get a blade like that. You really just can't get a blade like that, like at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'd
Even
put
with
it-
the best potent enchantment, the best you can get is like 50. So I would say this is like a situational spell.
Yeah,
situational. I'd put it there.
I'm down for that.
Alright. Alright, Basilisk. No. what can we say about this spell, honestly? It's just...
It is.
They
I
just
heard that this
kinda-
spell.
yeah.
I heard that this spell broke PvP. That's what I heard.
Yeah, this spell is breaking everything, bro. It's breaking my bank account,
Your
potentially,
eight-
maybe. It's breaking my back.
Shields. Jeez.
This is a spell that I really wanted, honestly. Like, I didn't know I wanted, but now it's here.
All right.
It's
8
just-
shields. What the heck?
8 shields. You get a tower shield.
Tower shields.
And then the deferred dot, you can just combine it with the troll, so, like, it's fine.
Dude, if trolls,
You get 2 of
imagine
them?
if trolls still, imagine if trolls
You get 2 of them?
still are bugged, dude. This would be crazy.
Imagine.
Basilisk into troll, and then you just freaking.
I mean,
kill everything.
even if it won't do necessarily as much damage, because like it is 2 deferred dots, so my guess is it's like a deferred dot of 500, because it's like 2 of them, so like divide by 2 will be 500 for each
Yeah.
one.
That
So like the
sounds
damage won't
about
be
right.
as high, but that utility of like the shields is really nice. That's a lot of defense. Not as
I would
great, but
say,
like if you walk a universal build, it will be really good for you.
Facts.
I'm gonna be honest. I'd probably put this in a amazing tier.
I will put it in amazing just because you can clear so many shields. Like,
Yeah, I like
it's
that
just
too.
insane clear.
I would agree.
It's
with
like
that.
at that point, it's like I don't even care about the damage. I just care about the fact that I'm just going through your defenses like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Gnomes, how we feeling?
Hold on. Make it bigger.
We're looking at 725 life damage and a overtime 810 overtime heal over 6 rounds per
you get 3 of those?
heal on yourself.
Yeah, that's a lot of
3
potential.
of those? Dude, that's busted. Wait, what?
That is
Is
a
this
lot,
just?
a lot of potential.
Is this
I would
just,
say
is this not
at least
just
life can
busted?
do it. At least life
Yeah.
can do it pretty easily. Wait, let's. Never mind. I was thinking something, but never mind. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
that's not
I
how it
would-
works.
I would put this. spell
Imagine
in
how
here.
insane it would be if like Leprechaun got more than just one.
Yeah. Like that would be pretty
Oh my
whack.
god.
But for the potential, I'll put that in amazing. Because it's like it's already good.
Yeah, I would put
Mhm.
it in amazing. I would say. The spell,
Okay.
like, the spell just looks busted to me.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, I could be
just think,
wrong,
like,
but
just think for me, like you can kind of get somewhat of a similar benefit if you go with the top path as well, because you get like the healing bonus, but you can probably use that with like a regenerator or something. You probably
Oh,
get
yeah.
around the same value without having the need conditionals. But yeah, potential wise, it's definitely up there. I would say like if you do the dual schooling, the potential is definitely there. If you do the dual schooling with Storm, you use the teacup and then you just kind of
Or Barry.
get a bunch of overtime zeros. Or Barry. Yeah, if you have Barry, you're pretty much set up for this.
Yeah.
So honestly,
Barry with
purely
this
because
stuff.
like
and
Barry
Barry
exists.
got buffed. Barry
He
got
did,
absolutely
yeah.
buffed.
Just
dude.
because of
Barry's
its
insane
existence,
now.
I will
don't
have
have him in
to.
this wizard.
Before then, I was kind of like, maybe situational decent, but I have to remember that Barry just got changed, and it's actually really good now. And the setup for
Barry's
this is
like
now a
broken.
lot more easier to do thanks to Barry.
Barry
It's just-
and then
it's good.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah, it's good. Like
You
it's
want a
gotta be,
busted
it's gotta be up
combo?
there. Woolly Mammoth. This one's good.
Yeah.
Player,
I like that.
weakness removal still does a solid bit of damage. The utility, I mean, obviously, it's better than nothing, but the main focus is the fact that you remove all those weaknesses
Yeah, for
first.
sure.
That's the biggest deal. I would say this goes in amazing.
I think so too.
I would put it in amazing. Yeah, this is a really good change. Better than the stun. Now, if only
Yeah,
they could do that
honestly,
for
though.
Frost Giant.
If
Yeah, for
only,
real.
if only. Oh damn! They actually changed the logos. Wow, they actually put pictures on them. That like makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm looking through your stream for this, so that's how I know.
Yeah, the new weakness.
Yeah. All right. How are we feeling about Rain of Fire?
That's
This one's weird.
that's the other overtime spell.
This one's a pretty weird one for me.
So, oh my gosh, okay, I gotta read this.
Yeah, it's one of those weird ones. It's got a lot of text.
Yeah. So it'll do 1350 across. What is that? 3 overtimes. Over
Yeah,
6
across
rounds.
3 overtimes.
And then 345 for 6 rounds. Per heal overtime that you have on you.
Quite the horde, I see.
Yeah, it's
It's
I think it's kind of garbo. I'm gonna keep it a
Yeah,
buck.
no,
Like,
I was-
I
what
personally-
are you gonna do? You're gonna link into link into link, and then maybe
yeah, I would.
This is another one of
say-
these.
it's the same. It's the same realm as Ifrit, except slightly more expensive.
Yeah, I would say
This
maybe
is
situational
another-
at best.
Here's the thing. This is another one of these spells where I think they need to make a path C that gets rid of the overtime and just buffs the damage by a lot. When they did their initial like spell audit, where they changed,
Yeah.
it was like I think July 2020. I think it was July 2020. I don't know, but they actually buffed this spell, and I was happy with it. But then the community complained because they liked the overtime on it, and I understand. But I think they should add another
What did
path.
they do before? I forgot.
It was like 900 damage with like a 100 overtime.
Oh, that's
It
good.
was 900 base damage.
Yeah,
It was like
I mean that's
insane.
just better, but you know, to be fair, I mean Dragon is still pretty okay. It's still pretty decent.
Yeah,
At least it's not Frost Giant.
not real. That is.
I don't know.
real.
I kind of hope that they add a path that gets rid of the overtime, or at least weakens the overtime and buffs the damage. But yeah,
I feel
I would
you.
put this
I
spell
feel
in
you.
trash. I'd put the bottom path spell version of it in trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, the setup is just you can technically do it, but I feel like for these other classes like that have some sort of healing over time, the setup is a lot easier than it is for a fire, even with the new King Artorias.
Thanks.
I tested it and I found out that like it's not how I initially thought. Okay, Dr. Vaughn. Again, this one has that same issue. I would say honestly Skeletal Pyre is just better than this in my opinion.
Anything with like the heal overtime.
Heal overtime.
I just don't
It's
know.
just-
Like I don't see the viability really because you just don't. You're not gonna heal overtime 4 times on yourself. I don't see that in PVE.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good
Also,
counter
like-
to rebirth, but it's like
Could.
it's so expensive.
But here's the thing. Why don't you just go top path? Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why not
Yeah,
just why
for, like,
even
more
go? Why
drain.
even go the bottom path for it? I don't see it.
Yeah, honestly, it's like at that point I would just prefer the drain over the utility. I mean, like when it comes towards any sort of counters, you typically will want to do it when you have a positive trade. So this most likely will give you at best maybe like a neutral to like a negative trade when it comes towards countering, which is like I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be as good. Like even if we can make the argument that like yeah maybe on advanced combat like like in raids like this will be like a perfect like counter. Well, it's like yeah true, but like if you're like in a team setting at that point, I just would think that you may still want to pause the trade in your pips so you can do something else as well beyond just like hey I just countered a heal overtime.
Yeah, it's like they designed a lot of these to sort of counter one another. And Vaughn is it's just a clear response to Rebirth, but it just costs so much. So I would say it's decent just because of what it does, like countering the best spell in the game. But
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, I
the
can see
cost for
that.
it, It's like especially if they can just adapt Surge, Rebirth, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that's what I'm.
I'd put it in situational. I would put it in situational probably.
Okay.
On.
Sure. I mean, the clear is pretty big, so
Yeah.
sure. Maybe like in the next arc, they'll start using the new rebirth, and this gets insanely good.
Dude, if they start using the new rebirth in the next arc,
That's gonna be
Everyone's
whack.
going
my,
on
my
strike.
blade AoE ass is logging off,
Yeah, for
and
All right, so what are we thinking about Chimera? Honestly, in my personal opinion, I think Shallow Realm.
Oh, it echoes the overtime, definitely. Because like Balance
My
just
bad,
didn't
my
have an overtime
freaking
gambit.
light just.
if I see
Leave out.
if I see the word echo, it's thrown in the abyss. That's just my philosophy.
Unless it's all Hydra, you know.
Yeah,
So,
Hydra's still alright. It's pretty good. So yeah, I would say just the Abyss. Like, whatever.
Yeah, we can just
I don't care.
Hi,
toss
Chimera,
Chimera.
Rip Bozo.
Alright, guys, we're almost done. We got 14 more spells now.
Yep.
Alright,
10
we got
pips in the King Arts.
Storm. Ow, yep. How are we feeling?
I heard this spell is.
Storm Owl,
It's
like,
pretty insane.
It
Yeah,
is.
I heard it was like really good.
I think.
3 pips per.
Yeah.
So it does solid single target damage, 3 pips per overtime, heal overtime.
Now,
Like, you can get
does
some sort of value out of
anyone-
it.
If you
does anyone know if they are white pips or are they power pips? Like,
I
do
think
you
they're
like a
white
power
pips.
pip and a noob pip?
Oh, here's my only question.
They work like Empower.
Would they? Yeah. So if they work like Empower, cool. If they work like Empowerment, not cool.
Yeah.
Because Empowerment, the biggest
no.
issue with Empowerment is there's a maximum threshold you can have in pips. Once you get like the max 7, you're done. Like, you don't get any more. Like, you just lost all your benefits right there. So it really just depends on that. My guess is that it works like Empower, like the death spell.
Yeah, I think it does. And it's good, but it's like setting up for it, you know. You need to like bury, Tree of Strife.
Yeah.
How much is
and it's
a,
10 pip
uh,
spell? It's
how much is a
10 pip
healing
spell, so
current?
it's-
Yeah. The healing current.
How much is a healing
pips,
current?
But it only gives you 1.
Oh, that's true. If it gave you 2, then like, yeah, that would be really solid. So what are we thinking? Like
put
in
it-
PvE, I would say decent because the
I
damage
would
is
say
really
decent,
solid.
yeah. Decent to situational, probably leaning towards decent for Storm Owl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we feeling? What are we feeling, Ice? How are we feeling?
I'm thinking decent. Like, it's a solid spell.
Decent?
You can replenish your pips real easy with it. It's just the setup is a little tougher.
That is true. All right, sounds good. I honestly thought the spell was gonna be good. It's really not.
Oh, calendar.
Trap Gambit again.
Trap Gambit. No, shot.
Again, here's the problem, right? The problem is, it's not just the fact that it's the Gambit, it's the fact that, like, it is a single target spell that does a decent amount of damage. Chances are, you're gonna kill before you can even utilize the Gambit in the first
Yeah.
place.
Wait, one
That's my
sec, what
issue
spell
with
we
it.
on? What spell we on
Calendar.
again? I'm sorry.
Celestial Calendar for
Calendar,
Myth.
But personally, I don't know.
Gambit
I think
for
this
trap.
is the one trap gambit that I won't throw into the abyss. But
I would agree. I don't think
Yeah.
it's Abyss tier.
I would
I'd
say
put it trash.
yeah.
maybe. Trash.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Post Cross, if you want to get a pack in Wiz, I would say get the Professor Sword pack. I would say get no packs. so
Don't
you can probably
gamble.
beat the
Okay,
shit out of it.
Don't
But if you're gonna get a pack,
Yeah,
if you're gonna get a pack, I would get the Professor Sword because it just gives you the most value.
Yeah.
Yep, true. Very true. Very base tech right there. Spiny Sword. I think this is really good.
I think this is really situational.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, because
Got
it's
a-
like
got a
it
little bit of
does
a-
it does good damage across those 3 dots, but you dump your pips if you're not clearing all those overtimes. And it's like if somebody has a Stormzilla, for example, then
Yeah,
it's like
I
they
see
clear
this.
most of your damage and get some
Yeah,
plays.
that's true. I mean, like, at the same time, though, it's like, it's not protected, though. That is fair. Like, the fact that it's not protected is a little scary.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see
It's
this
good
spell being
damage,
used
though.
much.
It's a good damage.
Yeah,
I actually
There are
personally
just
kind of
better
like it.
spells There are just better spells that pretty much.
There are
accomplish
better spells though.
everything.
I would say
I'd say just
maybe I'm thinking like around situational. Maybe I'm thinking maybe
Yeah.
situational
I think situational
Situational
is
is trash.
a good place to put it.
because it is a really solid like DOT
Bundle might
counter.
be.
And it gives you
Oh,
pips per DOT.
Postcross for bundles. If you're a pirate one player, get the Polaris one if you're gonna get one. But if you don't play pirate, then
Don't get a bundle.
I don't know. Don't do the bundle if you're not.
Bundle?
Use that for something else. Use
So
that
what are we
money for, like,
thinking?
anything else. For Spiny Sword, highest I would go is situational for it.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
All right, I'll move it down. I'll move it down to situational. Let's see. Sun Serpent, how are we feeling? This is another kind of like. It's okay. It's actually not that bad. The more I think about it, because
Yeah,
like,
it's like it does.
you can like just keep on like fuel stacking, and get the pip value.
Well, this is a clear, so it would clear traps on you.
Oh, never mind. That's right. It's not Gambit.
Overall,
Yeah.
it is. It does still
It's
do
still
a lot of damage. Is what
decent.
I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it
does that
does
give
what
you
Spiny Sword
one-
does, but better.
It gives you 1 pip per trap.
2 pips.
2
per
pips
trap.
per trap.
Or 2 pips per trap. Oh, okay. Wait. Are you guys looking at the? Was this spell updated or was it nerfed? Because mine says 1 pip.
Oh no, it got
Two pip
nerfed.
then. Yeah, I guess it
My
did get
pip
nerfed.
says my spell says
What?
1 pip.
Oh
This is
no.
going in, like, this is probably going in situational to trash, honestly. Just 'cause
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I don't know.
They nerfed it,
I
dude.
mean, personally,
nerfed it.
I just like it because of the damage. It's like it does what Spiny Sword
That
does,
is
but
true.
better, and it has a better
That's true.
effect.
That is true.
It's a big
So,
OT. Yeah, I can see it. Nah, maybe I would go decent for it.
Yeah, I would
I would go
too.
decent.
Shit, you know, I just realized about Spiny. It works very similar. That it's like 3 separate damage overtimes.
Yeah.
Except it just, I mean, of course it's life, so it does less damage.
Yeah.
Wait, is Spiny Sword still 2 pips?
Let me
Oh, yeah,
check.
that would be a good
Let me
thing to check on.
Yeah, because like if they nerf
real
this
quick.
one, they must have nerfed Spiny too.
Spiny's no longer 2 pips. It's 1 pip. That's supposed. I'd say
Ooh.
trash for that one. I don't know how I missed that, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
over.
Um.
I would go trash for it. I'd move that.
We
back.
move it to
I would
trash
move that
now?
to trash. Yeah.
God damn it! I have to. If I do edit this video, I'm gonna have to like showcase the new version that they made. God damn it. It's fine. Sun Serpent though, how we feeling?
I would put that situational,
Yeah,
or maybe
situational,
decent.
'cause of
The
the
Ice Lord.
one
Ice Lord
pip.
said, Ice Lord's decent. Yeah, decent situational.
How are we feeling, Ice?
I'll go situational.
All right, sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good.
It's one of the.
All right,
best.
I do
next
not
one.
understand this spell upgrading mechanic.
Lord of Winter. Now this one's actually really good.
Is this Gambit Shields?
Gambit Shield. It's like super easy to do. Just like Spirit Shield, Elemental Shield.
Well,
Ice doesn't necessarily have to worry too
They
much
didn't
about
change
shielding
this
either.
one.
Interesting.
So wait, why did they change? Why did they make some of them 1 pip, but this one's still a power pip?
Good to
So this one still is like solid damage, and
Yeah, this one's good. I
the
think this
Gambit
one's
is
pretty
really
good.
easy to do.
Yeah.
So you get the same value out of it regardless.
If you're against something that doesn't counter shields or like echoes them with Hydra,
Yeah,
then
that's
it's
true.
good.
I'm
I
leaning
would
towards
say
the
this
middle
one's
of amazing
decent.
to decent.
I'm leaning
I would
towards
say decent.
Jinx.
All right, we'll go with decent.
I do not understand this spell upgrading mechanic. How it works is you can choose. You have to get Spellements, you can farm them, and you choose a path whether you want to go top or bottom. And we're basically reviewing the bottom paths post host, by the way. All right.
All right,
next
so
one.
Avenging Fossil. It's a Gambit. It's weakness Gambit.
I saw
It's-
Roseblade try to use this, and it just did such meat damage. Like,
My
This
problem
is
with
not
this,
good.
it's the damage. That's one of the issues I have with it. The other issue I have is, unless we have the old Banshee,
then
this
it's
is
not gonna be
just no. there just isn't much opportunities to like put a bunch of weaknesses unless you had the old Banshee before the nerf and test.
Yeah,
I will
I'd
honestly say this
probably
goes to
lean
trash.
towards-
It got buffed to
yeah,
950.
trash. Maybe even the Abyss.
Wait, hold on, Pluto. Can you check on?
It's not 950. No, it's 890. It's still
890.
890.
Ooh, but it's the same gambit.
Oh wait, match
890,
tier, match
it
tier,
gives a
match
power
tier is
pip.
950. Match tier is 950.
Match tier.
Oh, they buffed the damage.
Yeah, that must have giga
Match
buffed.
tier is 950.
In that case, I would say like decent to amazing.
Ooh.
'Cause it's
Oh, that changes everything.
Yeah, that
This
changes
changes everything. All right. I will if I do make a video out of this, we will have to. I will have to showcase the new version.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I'm glad
they
I-
buffed the
I'm glad I
damage,
got on test
which you
round.
needed.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah,
I got on
thank
test run,
God.
so we were we have the
They're gonna probably change him again. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah, they probably will.
yeah probably before it goes live.
Yeah, so it's like as of right now, like we're not talking about this one, chat. We're talking about the one that's currently in test room, which I haven't updated it. I didn't know they updated it. I just watched Liam's video. He's like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they changed these spells. I'm like, okay, cool. So they only changed one spell that I need to put on the list. Apparently, they changed more than that.
Duh.
Shout out to Liam. All
I
right,
would put
then we
this
have.
spell in decent then. For Avenger
Yeah, I'll
Castle.
say decent. Check Sabretooth. How did that change? Because as of right now, it's 630 bounce damage, up 2 power pips per heal overtime on the enemy.
Yeah, mine's still 2 power pips per heal.
Same
This
thing,
is-
everything.
Yeah, it's pretty much 690.
Okay.
Max tier is 695. So I mean,
I just don't.
This is like
know.
this is like a very whatever spell.
It's
I
like
think it's kind of garbage.
I would say it's like giga situational. Because it's like
Yeah, it definitely is.
you might use this against a life going for a rebirth. You might use this against a fire going for a rain of fire. But I don't see it being used outside of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Pip mechanics.
And even
are-
then, like I would prefer the top path in this one too,
Yeah.
because it's like you get
Yeah,
more
for
utility out of
sure.
it. If anything, I would say maybe this should go in the please buff category
Maybe.
somehow, or maybe
Or like rework.
maybe
Yeah,
just
maybe
kind of
please
change
buff.
the
if they
mechanic.
just buff the
Honestly,
damage. I would say just
yeah,
buff
they buff the damage.
maybe.
Yeah, I would say
That
buff
could
the
work.
damage a little bit.
Just make the damage the same as the top path and have this utility, and I'd say that'd be good.
Yeah, like if we're talking about just purely PvE, I would say maybe pour in the please buff category. I would say it's the lowest one though, because the utility is kind of insane, just not as viable in PvE sense. In
Yeah.
PvP, I can see how this might be an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, if we're saying anything else, I'll probably put like maybe situational trash, but for now, maybe please buff. Let's see. Now all we have left is the King Artorias's. Did they change those? We're starting with the Storm one.
Storm Kinar. Okay, so it does 810 storm damage, clear 3 HOTs for 420 HOT for 4 rounds. So garbage, basically.
Yeah, meat and trash. It's like it's a good counter to rebirth, but
Yep.
that's it. You know.
That's kind of
It's,
it. I mean, like,
and it's
it is one of the
expensive.
better. It is one of the better, heal overtime removals. But again, Skeleton Pyre is still way better than this. If you want like a overtime removal, so it's
That
yeah,
and
I gotta
Trident.
put it in trash.
Yeah, I would put that.
Yeah, and Trident. Yeah, I'll put it in trash.
Lewis in my chat says,
Man,
"Where's Snowy
this
Giants?"
goes crazy. This is just better Medusa in every single possible way.
Oh,
Lifting art?
yeah.
Look at that. It's basically Colossus Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. You gotta trap
about
it this
lifting
time.
art? here?
Clears 5 curses for 50% chromatic traps, but Myth is the only school that can get it, so don't know why it's chromatic. And 750 or 760 spread across 2 deferred dots that last for 5 rounds. It's good if the person doesn't have the counter. But if they do, it's in the abyss.
I would say.
I would put
It's
well,
very
let's see,
easily
let's see.
countered.
Do you get a total of like 5 traps though? Like, is that like how it works?
I think so.
I would say this would go to like decent.
Yeah, I would say decent because it's like if you can get it off, that's huge. But it's I feel like it's too easily countered to be
I
above
think it's
Yeah, that's fair.
situational. I think it's situational just because of what Icegold said. Yeah, you can
that's fair.
The
counter
pip
very easily.
cost is pretty. The pip
But it's-
cost is
yeah,
pretty big
It's
too.
expensive. It's expensive.
Yeah, it's very
There are
expensive.
better King Art spells. Better King Art spells. I'd
For
put
sure,
it in
for sure.
situational.
I like it though. I personally may use it. Like I think it's pretty decent. So what were you thinking? You said Ice. You said it was situational or decent?
I said it was decent at best.
Decent at best, and then Pluto saying situational. I think it's decent. So
Situational.
majority rule. I say we go in
Yeah.
decent.
I mean, I'm on the fence.
Life
but,
King art, basically slightly better spiny sword, but doesn't do the damage, but does give you some extra survivability. It's pretty decent.
Why is the damage so low on this?
I was gonna say
It's
I don't
'cause it
know,
gives
I feel like
healing.
the damage is like
It traded
super
off for
low.
healing.
Yeah, that's
540 on the first tier. I don't know. This is too low damage for me. I'd say it's situational.
I would too.
Maybe even
Situational. All right,
It's just
sounds
like-
good. Sounds good.
Utility doesn't make up for the low damage.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I inverted it.
Nope. Keep it that way. Flip it upside down.
Now it's better.
Yeah.
Dude, I am like full on the situational again. I need to make more
Damn.
space. Alright, well let's talk about the Ice King Artorias, which pretty similar to the Myth one, except it is now chromatic shields. Weak damage, but you basically are doing defense in exchange of damage.
I would use Mammoth
um,
every time over this. I'm gonna keep it a stack. Just because
Honestly,
I was gonna say this
yeah.
spell is just 480. Why do they hate ice so much? I don't understand. 480 really? I don't know. They need to. The damage needs to be better to justify it for me. I would put it trash to situational.
Alright, what are we thinking? Is this another please buff?
Oh yeah, probably please buff. Yeah,
Please
Yeah.
buff?
buff the damage. Buff the damage a little bit, and I can see it being used. Maybe I can see it maybe
Okay,
being
what about
situational.
Life King Art? Should we put that in please buff as well?
Yeah, I,
I
would
think
put that
so.
too. Just buff the damage. Buff the damage on those spells, and it'd be better.
Alright, sounds good, sounds good. Alright, so we have King Art here. We'll have the Life King Art there as well, in the please buff category. Alright, then we have Fire King Art, which is freaking insane.
Oh, clear.
Yeah, I've
what is
heard
that, 7
heard a lot of
shields?
stuff about this one. Yeah, no, this spell
Yeah.
is, and it does it does really good damage too. So it's
Yeah, it does really good damage. Pretty
I
pretty
say,
good pretty good heal over time for some survivability's
honestly,
sake.
I say Vanilla Bean for this spell. This spell is like, I don't know, that's
That's
actually
Purely
insane
just the
for me.
fact that it removes so many shields.
Yeah.
Purely for the fact that it
just
removes so many
throws
shields.
7
and does
shields.
damage.
I'm down putting
There's
it
no
up there.
damage drop off. No damage drop off. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, it's pretty
It's really good.
pretty insane. All right, then we got the death one, which yikes.
Oh. It does the damage.
and 4 blades for
Oh, brilliant.
you know,
Mm.
this is going in trash.
Well, if you were to gambit 4 blades, you could.
I mean, I guess
up to
Spirit
4.
Blades. You can do. Oh wait, Spirit Blade situation again.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's a Spirit Blade situation
Yeah,
again.
I mean,
You can still get a
I
pretty solid
guess.
amount of damage and still get some defense.
yeah.
I feel like it's a
maybe
little
that
bit too
too.
expensive though.
I would put it in the decent tier.
It
personally.
is.
I would put
yeah,
it in
thinking about-
situational.
I
The reason
would
I'd put it
say.
in situational is because it's too expensive.
I would say decent, even though it is expensive. You are using that Spirit Blade situation again, where
Yeah.
you'll still get some sort of damage buff from pretty decent damage already. So I would say this will go in situational. I mean, not situational, decent.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Hey, welcome back, Echo Effect again.
Oh boy. Echo up to 5
So we're
cursing.
Echo weakness versus for weakness.
I love him.
Some meat
Echo
damage.
weaknesses, garbage, maybe even
Yeah,
abyss.
you would have to 3-fold spam on a balance for that.
Yep. Yep.
Or wait, no, it would be you would use this against a 3-fold spammer. Never mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know about all
Not that good. I would say top half is still way better in so many ways.
Yeah.
It gives you more value.
Yeah, no.
So I would say this will go to the
so
Abyss.
bad and Abyss
toss
for
it
this
in.
one.
Like I don't think like even if you were to buff it, like I don't think that will fix
Storms-
anything.
I thought Storms was the worst one. And I thought Storms was the worst one for a sec, dude.
No. Second worst.
Yeah.
If we're talking purely PvE, second worst.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, so here's the tier list as it is right now. Is there anything you may want to change? Like anything you may want to move up or down?
Let me pull it up real quick.
Really hard to see because there's a lot of spells.
Oh yeah. From a PvE standpoint, I like what we've got.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Maybe we can move. I don't know. I would say Troll if it wasn't fixed. Would probably throw in Vanilla Bean, but I guess it's fixed. So
For
it is
sure.
fixed. So like, I would say Evil Snowman goes up here.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I would say Evil Snowman goes up there at most. I'm looking at it. I kind of like the list kind of the way it is right now.
Yeah.
I would maybe
but-
consider putting Basilisk in Vanilla Bean. That's the only other one, but I kind of like it how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that you can remove so many shields, just remove so many defenses, still do a decent bit of damage. You get defenses for yourself for some reason as well.
It's like, yeah. It's like I would use that
vanilla.
just to like I would spend 9
It's
pips
pretty
on
vanilla.
that. I would spend 9 pips on that. Like even
I
if
would
my
put,
damage got countered, I would spend 9 pips just to clear that many shields.
Yeah, it's pretty vanilla as vanilla goes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you see anything that may want to go to the please buff category? Maybe.
I don't even know. there's a lot of stuff that
Cyclops minion. Put Cyclops buff minions.
I'll say yeah. Any minion in general. Yeah, definitely
sure.
gotta go with please buff. You can move please buff as well. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty overall solid list. Of course, guys, like we're not saying like, oh yeah, these spells are worse than other ones or anything like. This is kind of like just based on the spell. They're all kind of around the same tier. If we go like by the specifics about like, let's say for example, Centaur's just way better than all these spells, we will be here all day. But this is just like a general, what we have, based on potential viability in PvE. But yeah, I mean, I think overall this is a pretty solid list. Like if we're just purely talking about PvE potential, I'm happy
with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Looks good. Looks good. All right. Well, guys, I think that will be it for the stream. Pretty decently sized stream. We're talking about like around 2 hours of just going through a bajillion spells. And we missed out on a couple. We missed out on some lore spells because obviously, like, not everyone can necessarily get lore spells.
Yeah, like new berry.
And some of the trainable golems and stuff. Yeah. Some of the trainable golem stuff as well, just because the Spellements are kind of locked behind Beast Moon, and not everyone can necessarily do Beast Moon. I mean, they technically can, but to get to the point where they can upgrade it, like, I just can't really assume that everyone has them at the wazoo. But yeah, this is essentially our list. Let us know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with the list, any changes you may want to make. But as always, I'd like to thank both Pluto and Ice Gold for joining me today in this tier list making.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for inviting us, Frenzy. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for being here. As always, y'all, I'm going to leave it off here. Remember, if you haven't liked the stream, make sure to like the stream. Subscribe to both Ice Gold and Pluto. Links to their channels are in the description. And as always, to everyone watching, remember to stay frenzy and peace.
All right, now for me to say bye to my chat. All right. See you, everyone. Make sure you guys check out Frenzy. Make sure you guys check out Ice Gold. Give him a sub. Tell him I sent you. Comment on the video your thoughts on our tier list. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next stream. Maybe it'll probably be a few months from now. So.
No.
It'll be a while.
Crazy.
But see you guys in the next stream or in the next video, whatever. And have a good day.
And then I've got to do mine. So thank y'all for watching. I've been Ice Gold, here with Frenzy and Pluto. Be sure to sub to them. Thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave like 50 comments for the algorithm, and I will see y'all later. I'm just beating up Dreadnought, so yeah, good